Hey, what is going on, everybody? Natalie, Savvy, BMCG, what's up, dude? K Dog, grind for the champs of two. Wait for her. Yeah, I feel like Hood and Diablo might be why America is not as powered as she should be. And she should be. She should be. I went back and read the comics I have on her, watched the shows, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, whatever. Let's not start off on that negative. Thanks for the laugh, though, K Dog. And that is how I feel. What's up, Judah? Slave on. How you doing, dude? Tom. What's up, Fly Galaxy? Belganos. Her nomination is so good it would really be a waste if she didn't receive even a minor. I have a feeling she will. I have a feeling she will at some point. I think they do their best. They put something out there, and then we start testing things, and they really do see, is this performing the way it's intended? Pete Plays, what's up, buddy? Basal, what's up? Top 100. So yeah, since we haven't completely started, here's what I'm doing. My intention would be to get the 6-star. That's who I would definitely want. It is not. I want to be clear. It is not because I think she is that amazing. I do think there are uses for her, and I showed those in the video I did. And I think there could be potential future uses for her. This is truly about, I just love this character from the comics and a show that I watch with my kids. And so I want her. I want her. And so I'm going to do my best. I'm not starting this off with the idea of using refreshes. I want to see also what my roster can do. I have a large roster. It just is what it is. To me, that means that someone who's really dedicated, spending all the time they can, should at least be able to get close. Let's see what happens. I know there's a lot of people who grind Arena, though, and have a significant amount of units saved up, and they can do refreshes. And you know what? They've earned that. And that's cool. And so if those are the folks getting her instead of me, I'm okay with that. And on Saturday, if I'm close or if I'm feeling it, because that's always the tough one to use Saturday with, like, I've cleared my work schedule. If something comes up, it comes up. Not much I can do. But I've on Saturday with my family and things like that. So that also might be difficult. Try not to kill yourself doing this grind. I will try. And I am already, I'm sure you could see it in my face, a little bit in my voice. There is also a part of me that's already starting to hate myself a little bit. I did put up a poll in my Discord server in the announcements. It's like, would you guys rather see me pop 20 crystals for America Chavez or try to grind her out and grind her out one by a significant margin, So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I put it up there. That's my fault. And I should suffer the consequences. All right, I'm going to quickly go to the be right back screen, refresh the game, and let's get this going. Yeah, I was surprised that the grinder out option won by so much too, but I think that's because a lot of the people who voted, I can tell they genuinely care, at least I feel like they do, about me, at least a little bit. And so they were like, she's not worth the popped units. So let's do this. Let's go. Let's get started. Don't need you opening more crystals. You already steal my... Exactly. I think that also may have been it too, is folks were like, we do not need this guy opening more crystals. And for those who haven't seen it, I did do a bit of an opening there for Herc, and he is all the things that one would hope he would be. All right, I guess I'll get started with 5 stars, at least for the... No, I'll just go straight to 6. Get that timer going. And why are they X'd out? That's not good. What class we pick for the Nexus at the end of the Summer of Pain? Science. It will definitely pick Science. Science is the only class right now that has champions that I really would want, that I don't already have. So it'd be Science, and I would be hoping to dupe my She-Hulk or to get Immortal Hulk. That would be exactly what I was hoping for. Thoughts on the 5? You know what? I have not actually even checked out the featured. I think if Shang-Chi's in there, then it's good. That's kind of how I feel about Shang-Chi. If he's in there, then it's a good crystal. Is he in there? I had to clear a lot of work in order to be able to even think that I would be able to do this on a Thursday and a Friday. I'll be honest, I'm going to good luck beating the bots in the. Yeah, it is what it is. Like, the game is the game. And so we're going to go for it. We're going to go for it. And honestly, that's kind of what I wanted to test. Like I was saying. And also, there's people who grind Arena all of the time. They have the units to do it. And I'm sure there's tips and tricks that maybe I have already gotten wrong. In fact, if you guys are like, hey, dude, this would really save some time, try this. Let me know. Thanks, BMCG, dude. I really appreciate it. I like her. You and I know we've discussed a little bit on some various servers and DMs. I do think there's a use. I think there's a use for her. And what really opened my eyes was she was able to take out that Hyperion in 6.3, I think it is. The one with the Iron Man Infinity War boss, like the supercharged hype. I've actually been trying to take that fight with my recently R3'd Mr. Fantastic, and I just can't get it right. But with his pre-fights, America Chavez owned that fight. So there is a use. And I could see nodes and defenders coming out where she would be really, really awesome for that. Yep, obviously just not just us being selfish, wanting more streams. Fel, dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to that too. I'm hoping to stream this. I know it's going to slow me down. But I would love to do a lot of streams. So that is a big, huge plus of this for me too. Assuming we're going, I'll be streaming at least twice a weekend here. So if you see me not streaming, that's a bad sign. So like even this, like I'm scrolling down to the bottom. I don't know if I should be because that feels like that's just taking time. Guys, what's up, dude? Mod does what? I gotta look and see what Mod does. What is Mod doing? Shang-Chi is in the featured 5. Then I that's how much I like him. That's how good I think he is. I actually took mine to SIG 200 as a 6-star. You can sort lowest, highest, if I remember correctly. Oh, okay, there you go. Thanks, Fel. That's probably a good call. And hopefully we can get the timer going on these 6 stars. Does She-Hulk need to be awakened for a rank 3 6-star? No. I think it depends on your account and what you need. I have prioritized some other science champions to rank 3. Part of that is that she is not awakened, and I love her. I absolutely love her as a maxed out 5-star, and I like what I like what it brings to the table. I like what her awakened ability brings to the table. Unblockable Nick is, even when I pull Nick, he still just doesn't want me to do good things. But no, I think if you want what she does, and she does a lot of awesome stuff. I have her as a top shelf champion, and I mean that. Oh man, this isn't good. All right, let's punish it, kill him off. BMCG, I agree she's not useless. I just wish she had a bit stronger, I think the content she'll sell is still coming. Yeah, that's kind of the concern for me, though, is, sure, if the defender has 9, or I guess it's 6 buffs, right? Because we can only get to 9 of whatever it is that's charging her up, and you've got your own 3 parallel dimensions, so it's really 9. Even in those scenarios, I didn't find that she was hitting, like, Sunspot. That wasn't my experience. And so I think the design idea there is that she's cycling her specials a lot. And I see that. I really do see that. And that's part of why I like Mr. Fantastic paired with her. I know that's not like your first thought, but his pre-fight that's able to reduce the combat rate a little bit was extremely helpful for her in that fight against Hyperion. I did have to do it a few times just to kind of get the feel of it. But once I did, she handled that fight. And I could see those things starting to come into the game more and more and more. When was the last time you did? The last one I actually remember was Hercules. Or not Hercules. Was Hyperion. But I really believe there was some in between there. I tend to just zone out. I was probably watching someone stream or something like that. So it's been a while. Oh, what's up, Kuban Tip? Thanks so much for stopping by, buddy. Mega, what's up, dude? And I saw your comment about nerfing me. No way. No way. Come on, man. But the guys have made a good point, or the viewers have made a good point, is if I don't open crystals, maybe there'll be more luck for everyone else. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I like that plan. Look at that. I did not open and work in progress pool 6-star Hercules. Just like that. Some people would say that's a coincidence. I don't think so. I think that is clearly proof. That is clearly proof. Work. So is that an insta R3 for you? Is that an instant R3? You're going to turn on the recoil tree masteries and just show us what's up with Hercules? I think if he doesn't tempt you to do it, I don't think anyone will. If he doesn't do it, I really don't think anyone will tempt you. Man. The temptation just to play stupidly aggressive is so high at this point in the arena. That is a huge congrats work. That is huge. Oh, totally. She was hyped to be this brawling mystic champ, and at her highest potential, she doesn't feel like she's hitting. I feel like I feel like a little of this might be like self-confirming or a confirmation bias. When I read her abilities and really went through them to do the video, that was my sense. I was like, this SB2 is going to need to hit very hard, and it's going to need to hit very hard, even in just a generic matchup. Otherwise, she is going to be relegated to very, very much pure niche utility. And I was hoping for more than that. But the fact of the matter is I wanted to address that in myself. Like, I love her. I wanted her to be really good. And so, Kabam didn't ask me. They weren't like, hey, Vega, we're bringing your favorite character into the game. How good should we make her? And I really don't think every champion's supposed to be overpowered. So as much as selfishly I don't like it, I wish she was as good as Doom. I wish she was as good as Clairvoyant. I wish she was as good as Diablo, or as good as Hood seems like he may be. I get it that maybe she's not. And upon testing and her being in the game for a while, maybe they decide to up her damage a little bit. And I think this would go a long way. Provide her a little bit of defensive combat reduction, defensive combat power reduction, because that does hurt her. Because if you think about it, I think the idea was to throw the SP1s repetitively, get to the SP2, and then maybe throw the SP1s. So you're cycling a lot of specials. The problem was the defender is gaining a lot of power during that time and preventing you from really cycling them, and then your dimensions are falling off. So if you could reduce their power rate, their true defensive power rate a little bit, I think that would help her significantly as well. As long as also with maybe like tone down the cap. Maybe she doesn't need to obliterate things. And I still didn't think she did, but maybe she doesn't need to obliterate things that have the 9 buffs or whatever it was, and tone that down a little bit, but raise the floor on how hard she hits when there's only like 2 or 3 with her own dimensions. I would like that. I would like that a lot. And trust me, that feedback was provided. But there are people running the game who know a lot more about the direction they're taking it than me, of course. So it is what it is. Work running the ouchies. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be happening. Hey, Jacob and Fel, have you guys messaged me somewhere? And if you have, let me know in the chat and I'll check it out. And if you haven't, don't sweat it. Don't sweat it at all. Best Havoc player video. Someone did a good one. I know that's not helpful to you at all. Someone did do a good one. Was it maybe KT1? I actually don't remember. I don't remember. Slaybon, all your pulls are hot garbage. Was that you on the server? I know we had a couple that I responded with the dote emoji or the dote sticker, because there were some pretty rough pulls. How's the alliance search going, dude? I've had a couple places reach out to me, and I've told them that you're a really good dude. Hopefully that's helped. None of that's happening. Work is not instant R3ing nor instantly putting on recoil tree. I don't know, Work. It could open up a whole nother avenue of the game for you. Could happen. Could happen. Might be something to consider. I'm pretty happy that as of right now, I'm able to just get through this with just 5-hit combos over and over, because some of these champions, I have literally no idea how to play them. Airwalker being one of those. Slayman, you pulled her? Dude, so she has uses. I'm sorry to say that I truly believe she needs a high rank and she needs a high sig. Or you're going to need to be an extremely patient player. An extremely patient player. That was harder to say than I thought it would be. But yeah, like in my CCP video on her, I've kind of made a little rule that I don't want to just do rank 3 sig 200s. I think those are really fun, and I think it's cool that people are showing that, and I'm sure I will show those too. But I'd like to show, you know, like an unawakened champion, a rank 2 champion, a 5-star maxed out champion, just because I think more viewers have the ability to do that right away. And I did that with her, and I was like, oh my goodness, there's nothing to show people here. So I did take her to rank 3 sig 200 for that reason. What probably happened to America Chavez was that all the attention was on Hercules, making sure he lived up to the hype. Then they forgot and rushed. Yeah, you know, I hear you, buddy. I hear you, but I really think, I truly believe that if that were to be the case, then that means there's something that happened that we're not aware of, right? Because we don't know everything. Even the CCP people, we just know the tip of the iceberg. My sense is that there are dedicated champion designers who are doing literally the best they can, And we see that with, you know, who's our favorite right now? Everyone's favorite is Broccoli, right? And he has designed some absolutely amazing champions. And then there's some who, you know, let's say they are not as effective in this game. They are not as effective, right? And I don't think that's because he's now not good at it. I think he probably had constraints that he had to work within. And so he did his best as he could, working within those constraints. That's my sense. Literally, I would have said that before I was in the CCP, so this isn't like I've learned something new. That's just my sense on how it works, If you guys want to talk about that, I'd be happy to. I just know I talk about it a lot. So a lot of you have probably heard my theory on how I think the champion design process kind of starts off. And it's not equal footing. It's not equal footing. Ansal, you just popped on and got a 5-star hurt, dude. Awesome. Huge congratulations. Are you going to instantly rank him as high as he can go? I'm very curious about that. And congratulations. That's awesome. And that's how it should be, right, folks? Like, you guys have seen me open a lot of crystals. You set your limit and you enjoy the moment. And then every once in a while you get the one. And that's really fun. Work didn't want to run recoil for Corvus, nor the champ is going to make. I think Hercules, I don't know if he's better than Corvus. I think the game's so complex and all that, right? You guys have heard that speech. He's more fun than Corvus. He is an absolute blast to play. Absolute blast. From animations to the callouts to his hitbox to his heavy to the flow with which the champion is played on you just play him and he gets stronger. He is more fun than Corvus. It's subjective, so I'm willing to disagree with people on it. But he is, let's put it this way. I've said many times that I was going to do a most fun champions in the game video, and Hercules is one of the reasons that video has not come out. It was all ready to go. And then Hercules came into the game, and I had to redo the whole video, which was fine because he's that good. K21 does have a video about best Havoc rotation. Okay, cool. Thanks for letting everyone know. I thought it was KT1. Was one of the guys who started kind of helping the community understand that Havoc had like that dot damage and didn't have to be played like just huge SP3 and over, that there was a way to play him that was probably more effective and not as limited. Phil, I think I see you join the chat. Are you there, buddy? Let's see. I can't hear him, so we have a little bit of technical difficulties. Let me go ahead and get those looked into as soon as I finish this fight, because we do have a couple people joining the chat. I like to do that. I like to have fun with people. I don't know. Based on this arena fight, I don't think Venompool needs a buff. I might try to get that buff undone. Can we get that canceled? I wonder if we can get that canceled. People would probably love that, right? All right. Let's see if we can get. Yeah, Fel, you're the old man now. That's all right, buddy. There's going to be a long stream. Let's see if we can get you figured out here. Okay, I don't have you muted or anything. User volume's good. You're talking, but you're not coming through. Let's see here. Try talking again, buddy, real quick. Jacob, I see you just joined the chat too, buddy. Can you say something? Let's see if I can hear you.
What's up, guys?
All right, I can hear Jacob just fine. So, Fel, there's no judgment attached to this. I think you're an amazing human being. But I do get the sense that maybe the problem is on your side, or Jacob just has special powers. Those are the only two options that I see as possibly explaining this. Jacob, do you have any other theories? All right. Let's go. All right, I think we're squared away. Fel, hit me up in the chat, buddy, because obviously I'd like to help you get on and be part of the chat. I think that'd be really fun. So hit me up in the live chat on the stream, and then Jacob, if you could, when you get a chance, buddy, say something again, just so I can confirm I have you at the right volume for everybody.
What's up?
Yeah, is that pretty good? I hear him pretty well. Can everyone hear him at about the appropriate level? Let's see.
That might be the case, Phil. You can change it in the settings. He has push to talk on.
Oh yeah, so he would have to push, I guess, to talk, right? This is the kind of nuggets of wisdom, the technological knowledge that we drop here on this chat.
I'm not the best either.
Together we'll figure it out. I think that's why half the people tune in, is to see what sort of like antics Old Man Vega comes up with on technology.
Didn't we spend like half an hour one time trying to sort the audio out?
Yes. And then what was weird is like it felt like it was just a couple streams later the same problem happened. I think Discord was going through like a growing pains or something.
Yeah, let's blame Discord.
Yeah, definitely Discord's fault. This Daredevil Hell's Kitchen's taking me to town. I'm actually going to turn you up just a little bit, unless anyone says that you're just way too loud, but I don't feel like you are. So don't adjust volume on your side or anything. Feel bad for Fel, but we'll get him sorted.
Yeah, so do I. Oh, I heard him right there. Try speaking again, Phil.
No.
It looks like he's talking in the chat.
Yeah, he's definitely talking. Like I can see the green circle for to signify that he's speaking, but it's just not coming out. I don't have him muted or anything like that. Felt, and at this point, I'm just going through the stuff like people have helped me out with. Just make sure, like, go to your Discord settings and all that, and your audio, what is it, output or something? I don't even remember anymore. But that your voice is going to Discord. There's a small chance that that's that. People have helped me out with that before. Oaths fan, dude, you're here? Unbelievable. Did I catch you on a lunch break? I don't feel like I've ever seen you on an early day stream. Fluffy Pig Monster, what's up, dude? Is Fel muted? No, that was the first thing I checked. He's definitely not. Pedro, the volume's good for you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys letting us know. William Pop, what's up, dude? What's up? Jacob needs to be a little bit louder. Okay, I'm going back in the chat a little bit, so we've turned him up. If it's still an issue,
I think they said it was fine.
Yeah. And, that could just be like different settings on. Actually, no, that wouldn't change your settings. So, Jacob, do you have advice on this? On like, should I be? This feels like it's taking unnecessary time to scroll through my champions each time.
You can sort it by available.
Okay.
That should work.
That'll help?
Yeah.
Cool. Good luck with the grind. All right, let me give that a look. Open 3 calves, duped. Are you kidding me, O's fan? You duped him? We were just talking about that. Congratulations, man. I was just saying.
Looks like everybody is getting him. Might have
the drop rates are. Go for it.
Might have to open some calves now.
Yeah, just enjoy the moment, right? Set your limit, enjoy the moment, and then have a ton of fun. Hopefully you get them. And then if you don't, stay off Twitter and line for a while. That's always the hardest. You know, you set your limit, you open, you don't get them, and then you jump on line chat, and like 15 of your alliance mates have them. Yeah.
I'm kind of used to it by now, especially with Apocalypse.
Did you end up getting him yet? Have you gotten him?
Nope, not even as a 5-star.
Jeez, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's all good. One day.
Yeah, exactly. One day. It is tough when their featured crystals come and gone and you don't have them. I think that's always that for me. That's the frustration part. Like, I do think Immortal Hulk is very good. I see his uses. I do enjoy Buddy Lee's channel, so I think that's part of why I think Immortal Hulk is as good as he is. But I obviously did not get him through the Cav crystal. That was fun. And his featured crystal has come and gone. So there's really not much I can do about it. And that's why I will go science for any sort of nexus that I can or anything like that. Slay off to the gym. Good luck and have a good stream. Thanks so much, buddy. And I'll be on more than once today. Or I should be, assuming I'm still doing this. I feel bad for Fel. I feel badly for Fel. He actually, I honestly didn't know work. I thought he had. I thought when I got Fury, I also thought someone else on the server got one of their champions that was their version of Fury. I thought that had happened. Clearly, I was wrong, and now I feel horribly.
The joke lives on.
The joke lives on, right? At least we still have the joke. At least we still have the joke. Yeesh, the rare self burn. Yeah, you got to be able to laugh at yourself, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. Osfan, you're off for the week? I did not know that. I didn't know that. I chose this opponent because I was trying to avoid Nick Fury, and here I am. Anyways. This is not going to be fun. I think I should start switching to stronger.
I love you too, TJ.
Is TJ here? Tom Jarvis? Are you calling him TJ?
Yeah, I know him.
Oh, right on. From KT1 streams and stuff, right?
No, from Killer BC streams.
Oh, really? Right on. And where are you located, Jacob?
I currently live in Denmark, but I have roots all over the place.
Right
France and England.
Okay. Yeah, I associate you with Denmark for whatever reason. I think maybe we talked about it with some of my family's actually from there. Married into my family, but still.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
Right, good. I at least wanted to get that fight down because I have a feeling I'm going to lose one of these. Okay, I see the jokes now. I see the jokes going back and forth.
Warwick hasn't been dropping them as much recently. That's at least something.
I think Work's been hanging out with me too much. I think that's what's going on. In some of my
it's becoming nicer.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's rubbing off on him a little bit. I'm spending too much time on the Discord server lately.
It's fun.
It has been fun, right?
Great place.
Yeah, I think so. Speaking of iHulk, so you start mentioning iHulk enough and you summon Buddy Lee. What's up, dude?
3 times. What's up, Buddy Lee? He's one of those champions that you got to like to rank up because otherwise you aren't going to find him useful.
You know, I definitely agree with that assessment. I really have been speaking with Ozfan quite a bit lately, and one of the things we've talked about is how I'm not sure what exactly I'm going to do with crystals now. Like, I hope I'm not spoiling it for anyone, but I did just awaken my 6-star Hercules, on like 20 crystals. Oh, I guess it was 40 in total. I just didn't record the first 20. And they were done over 2 days. And I don't know if I'm going to open a few more of this current featured batch. I don't know if I'm going to just completely hoard for the next one, or if I'm going to open a few more basics, hoping to get Immortal Hulk. But I know there's a lot of people who just don't like him, you know? All right.
I recently ranked mine up. I do enjoy him. He's quite fun, but I don't have a use for him anywhere right now, at least.
I can see that. I mean, definitely, like, again, as someone who watches Buddy's channel pretty regularly, I see him as I guess it's kind of like what you're saying. It's like you need to want to use him, but if you do, he can do really awesome things for you. You know,
for sure.
I got to start using more highly ranked champions. I said that last time, and then I totally forgot.
Tommy asked if he's going to rank up Awakened Aegon or Awakened Namor. Two very different champions.
Yeah, those are always tough, right? When you get those. Because it always makes me want to ask the second question is, do you have content that one would be great for? Like, do you still have Abyss or Labyrinth of Legends to do?
Rank up questions are always tough. There's always loads of context you need to give a proper answer.
Yeah, that's why I always try to direct people to the Discord server, but I get it that people can't always do that. Or they just don't have interest in it, which is cool. I'd like to really make sure I do not die to this.
It also depends on the sick levels of the champion.
Yeah.
I would rather... If both are low sick, I'd rather rank up Aegon, because he's useful for Labyrinth, and most of the Abyss, low sick.
Yeah, and you know what, Tommy, just again, if you want to put in a little more information in the chat, I'd be happy to kind of talk it through with you. The one thing about Namor is I've resisted ranking Namor. I have a SIG 180, 6-star Namor. I have a maxed out 5-star Namor. I don't use him often, and I joke on stream and Discord about just not liking him. But the guys on the Discord and in the chat always point out, they're like, look, just do it because he's that good. And once you have him SIG 200, like, it's not going away, you know? And so I will say that about him. I know there's a lot of people who just do not like Aegon. They find him a waste, or they want to, even if they have the 6-star, they want to, they don't want to rank up their 6-star because they want to get through Abyss with their 5-star. And that is totally valid. I mean, that is totally valid. So I think on that one, it's kind of like, which one do you want? Which one do you need? I had a 6-star rank 3 Aegon when I did Abyss, and he's part of why I don't remember Abyss very well, because he just like steamrolled through things. Like, you just got him ramped up, except for the path that had it's MCoC, right? MCoC was the one where you didn't want him too ramped, if I remember correctly. And so I just was very strategic on not getting him too ramped. But I would use him stuff for, like, I think I used him for Havoc. There was a couple fights where...
Yeah, he was bugged, so you could use him.
Is that what it was? Was he bugged at the time? I was one of the first people to get it done. Like, when I was in a path...
You can't use him efficiently anymore now.
You did?
Hey, sorry, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Now, yeah.
Let me get you your volume fixed in a minute here.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I figured out why it wasn't working. I think I managed to out old man you, Vega. So my headphones have this button on it that keeps me muted or unmuted, and it turns out I had that button on muted the whole time.
Old man Phil.
You remember how I made that comment about sometimes I'll make jokes, they may be at your expense, but they're intended to be lighthearted? This may live on. This may live on. We may need a Felganos with headphones not turned on sticker for the Discord server.
I've been waiting for the day where a joke is finally made at my expense. It seems that day has finally arrived.
Yeah, your day is here. Your day is here. You've graduated. White Mummy. Dude, White Mummy. Hey, first of all, thank you so much for all the help you've been providing me lately. I know there's been a lot of back and forth, and I am still amazed at how quickly you provide that help. It is ridiculous. So thank you. And two,
Mummy is awesome.
He is, right? I mean, just like, I truly don't. It's like when a person fixes my computer and I'm just like, thank you, wizard. I have no idea what sort of magical powers you possess, but thank you for helping me with them. That's how it feels when I'm working with White Mummy on something. And the relevance is I finally was able to watch KT1's video on your suggested war changes. I thought I'm actually going to stop the arena for a second because I really want to pay attention. I thought they were fantastic. While he was going over them, the one thing that immediately stood out to me was, especially if you think about it, I'm in BG3 of 4 Loki. And if you watch enough of the war videos, you know that means Bryn, Lizer, Legacy are taking like 10 to 12 fights. And then you have on down where you have people who like, they just place pre-fights. I'm sure that would be my role in some way. I would probably take like 3 or 4 or 5 fights, depending on the matchups. And so I thought the changes you made, if you guys haven't seen it, if someone could actually link KT1's video, because it is really cool. And he goes over White Mummy's. Yeah, if you could do that, I would really appreciate it. The thing that immediately stood out, because as cool as I was finding it all, and I like the idea that like the main boss is hidden, I think that's really cool. Because then when you're attacking as your initial attack teams, you want to bring a lot of variety to make sure you have someone available, right, to counter that boss. But what it was is, to go back to the point, is I actually liked that it was going to make everyone take, I think it was 5 fights, if I remember correctly. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was really cool. And they weren't linked, right? So it's not like, me, I'm out on a Saturday with my family, we're in the park, and now everyone's tagging me saying like, Vega, we need you to clear because we literally can't advance. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And I hope Kabam really looks at it as they continue to consider what changes they want to make to war. Because the one we're seeing this next season, I don't remember what it is, like season 48 or 28 or whatever, that I don't believe that is their ultimate long-term goal. I think that's just them doing literally the best they can to provide us something that's a little bit different and hopefully fun while they continue to work on something that will really blow our minds and take into account like all the feedback we've given them. Because that's the thing that we always, and again, guys, I said this stuff before I was in the CCP. We have to remember, Kabam wants the game to be fun. They get no benefit from the game not being enjoyable. So I truly believe that they are doing their best to make it fun, and war being one of those things. Like if you think about it, right?
They're also quite busy right now.
What's that?
They're also quite busy right now with all the bugs and other changes.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like they're running a business, and their business makes money off of digital items. They have just been mailing us these items the last 4 weeks to the point where we're like, okay, could you guys slow down the cadence maybe? Or like we're starting to negotiate. We're like, I really could go for some more tier 4B instead of these pots. Could you maybe do me a solid?
Please.
Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, no, exactly. I was actually about to have 3,000 glory expire on me yesterday with like 2 hours to spare. I just had to dump some glory into T4CC and T5 basic.
Yeah, it's like as if an all-you-can-eat buffet just started giving out free food. And you're like, thanks, but like my fridge is full at home, So, anyways.
They have really handled this well.
I think
Best
so.
they could, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, I think so. The only thing that's been tough for me is the Summer of Pain, but it feels like I don't know if I've gotten used to the bug, and therefore I'm going to have to get used to it. But
I have adjusted to the parry timing. I just have trouble with decks sometimes.
Yeah, I like what I found is I actually tend to parry by accident when I'm trying to dex a lot now.
Yeah,
it's a little strange.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
I also saw something about a special bug going around. I haven't had that myself, but that doesn't look fun.
Nor have I.
What is it? What's being reported?
Special not being thrown, even if you type it repeatedly.
Okay, I've been trying to make a couple videos, knowing that I was going to potentially be doing a lot of arena, so I was trying to get them ready well in advance. And I could swear, and it happened like 3 or 4 times. I'm like, I know I pressed the special button, and nothing happened. I should probably try to record some of that or report that through, because I just assumed. Usually, I assume it's a me problem until I hear other people saying it. Craig Harcine, I just popped 5 caffeine in hopes of. Man, I understand your disappointment. It hurts me like to my core that one of my favorite characters from the comics is the disappointment pool. Like I feel like as if somehow I was this huge Psycho Man fan, you know, and everyone's just so disappointed to pull him. She's got uses though, buddy. She really does. She really does. But I understand your disappointment fully. I fully understand that. And I'm going so far back in the chat. Hopefully, Buddy's still there. His eye hold senses were going off when we summoned him. All right, it's time for the big boys here. This is quite possibly one of my most fun teams to quest with.
Wait, out of question. Jacob, and Vega, you guys are both using Apple phones, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. That's interesting, because I've heard that the bug doesn't actually affect Android like nearly as much, and that lines up with my experience where I've very rarely encountered the bug, honestly, and I use an Android. So, interestingly enough, in this case, Android's actually getting the advantage over Apple.
It's about time you guys got something.
First time.
Yeah. I'll allow it. Once every 7 years, Android can have a benefit. Can everyone hear Fel well enough? I realize he might still be a little low.
There hasn't been any comments about his sound, so I think.
Yeah, you know what's weird is, and you're probably right. I think you're probably correct. Is that one of the things I found out is sometimes there's no comments because they can't hear him. Like they just don't realize there's another person.
I think they can hear me based on the fact that work in progress said something a little bit earlier, but if y'all can hear me, would you mind just saying in the chat like, yo, I can hear you?
Yeah. I tend to ignore work. So, you know.
Welcome to the club.
Did you guys notice? It was very subtle. I actually put the Wayland in progress on the thumbnail for the stream. Thanks, K-Dog and Mark. What's up? I appreciate it, guys. K-Dog, Chavez is super powerful. Yeah, dude, like literally kicking and punching holes into parallel dimensions. Sometimes, it depends on what you've seen or what you've read. I do feel like there's times where she starts off a fight a little bit weak, almost like she needs to like, she's not summoning powers. Like I'm not trying to say she's like summoning them from another place, at least not to the best of my recollection. But that it does feel like she kind of takes a beating a little bit, or it feels like the villain has the upper hand at times. And then she will just, not like Hulk Hogan, you know, her body's not shaking or anything like that. But she kind of comes out of nowhere with this like super kick or something like that. So I was also kind of hoping for some sort of mechanic like that in the game.
Comic logic doesn't apply to this game. I think we'll all figure that out.
Yeah, exactly. I know, but give me my moment, all right? You know, let me complain a little bit. Work back to being Rodney Dangerfield. No respect. No respect. No, man. Let's see here. Dave,
my 5-star APOC or rank 2 my 6-star Cable. Well, look, you need APOC for Cable, so I would prioritize the 5-star APOC unless you already have a 6-star Cable. What do you guys think?
For sure. APOC is also the better champion of all.
Yeah.
I haven't ranked up Cable because I don't have APOC. So I'd rank up APOC first.
Yeah, no, without APOC, Cable was just still the same old, pretty much dud champion that he was before APOC came out.
Yep, I agree. I absolutely agree with that. And I again, I like to give credit where I've heard something or I'm aware of something. One of the first people I ever heard really like analyze that was KT1. And one of the things he talked about was, and it was actually this exact scenario, was what if you don't pull the 6-star APOC for a while? And then, you know, with gating or just whatever, or like the benefits that 6 stars are receiving in Act 7, then you're unable to bring in your APOC. And then you just have this really, I mean, Cable without APOC is a terrible champion. So yeah, I'd go APOC. And then the worst case scenario is that you pull your APOC, a 6-star, and then you have 2 APOCs. That is an amazing worst case scenario. That is an amazing worst case
I
scenario.
wouldn't call that a worst case scenario.
Yeah, exactly. You're preaching to the choir here with Jacob. He doesn't have a 6-star. Or do you have a 5-star, Jacob?
I understand now. God, I have to
No.
remember this stuff. In fact, I think I'm gonna have to start taking notes on like who's on stream, and not accidentally make fun of them while streaming.
No, it's fine. It's a joke now.
It is.
I'm just kind of happy none of y'all figured out the one champion I don't have at a 5 or 6-star level.
Well, you don't complain about it enough. You need to.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to embrace your inner Vega, and complain a lot about not having Fury. Thanks for bringing us back to the chat.
Opening loads of crystal from hurts.
What's that?
Opening loads of crystal for champ hurts and not getting them.
Yes, this is true. And then someone in the chat said, sorry, I didn't have the time to read your name, that you had never even heard of her. Yeah, I think she's someone that, like, I became really aware of her because of literally my kids. Like, I was looking for a superhero Marvel show to watch with my children. And so I became aware of her through that. It's called Marvel Rising. It was on YouTube. This is before Disney Plus and all that. And I thought they were going to do more, but they haven't said anything in a very long time. So I think that got scrapped. And I think you're going to see more of her just as Marvel. It makes clearly concerted efforts to be like more inclusive of a variety of things. And she hits a lot of those markers that they would be striving for. And in fact, she's supposed to be in Doctor Strange. She's supposed to be in the upcoming Doctor Strange movie, and it's going to introduce her. And I think they're introducing a very young version of her, like a 16-year-old or something like that. And for those of you who are interested in these things, and I am, I really enjoy. I have a couple of YouTube channels I enjoy, like listening to the theory crafting or theorizing on, or fan theories. Is that they're definitely setting up like the young Avengers.
Comics?
What's that?
Listening to comics being read out loud?
No, I'd rather read them myself, but I do listen to like Comics Explained. He goes a little too fast for me sometimes, but I do listen to that. But I really like New Rock Stars, and so like their breakdowns of like all the Disney Plus shows we've been seeing, and then they're theorizing on what's happening in the MCU. And then there's one host, I can't think of, EA Voss. I think it's EA Voss. He clearly does have at least, or he does research on the comics, and so he relates them back to that. So I really enjoy that.
Have you checked out Comic Storian by any chance?
I
They
watch
make some
him.
cool stuff.
He's great.
Really?
Yeah. He was my gateway to finding Rob from Comics Explained.
Like
I
Fel,
was with them, but yeah, they're both great.
Fel, you sent me that full breakdown on Iron Man. I couldn't follow it. Like, it was awesome, and it was chock full of information, and I tried. Like, I downloaded it, and I listened for like an hour before I was like, I just can't. I need to accept that I'm not able to follow him. I think he does a very certain style of...
Yeah, it's loading for me.
Are we back?
It's back now.
Yeah, he seemed to be back.
All right. Cool. He does a specific style of cuts where there's like no breath. And that just, it's difficult for me sometimes if I don't know what he's already talking about.
Yeah, so then Comic Storian might actually be better, because if I'm correct, Comic Storian kind of does it more page by page, panel by panel, so he takes it a little bit more slowly than Rob.
Okay.
So, yeah. He might be a good shout there.
I mean, it is cool, right? Like, I can see how excited Rob is, and I think that's part of why I like him, and I can see that being part of why people like him in general, because it's cool, because you're excited too. So it's cool to have the other person be just as excited, but so it's called Comics Historian?
Comic Storian. Would you like me to just DM you the link to the channel or something?
No, let's just talk about it for 5 or 10 minutes and have me not understand.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay.
Yes, please do. Buddy Lee's headed out?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if we can summon him back here in about 20 minutes. He's saying with
Yeah, he
Tigra.
said if you need anything, just mention Tigra, I Hulk.
All right. or Hercules' synergy with Black Panther. Mr. Friendly definitely will. Thanks for letting me know we're back, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, I got a weird alert saying OBS went down. I had never had that before. In my day, you called this a poser. I don't want to be a poser. The MCU is what's gotten me into Marvel and most of my comic knowledge. So I am very comfortable admitting that, and I think it's amazing. And it's opened up my eyes onto how awesome the comics are and have been for a very long time. Dude, you struck out. Yusafa, you actually went for her, man. I'm acting like I created her. I did not. But I'm really happy that you at least tried. I'm really happy you at least tried. She has uses, dude. She has uses. But at your account level, chances are you would almost never use her. At least not in the current format of the game, is my opinion. K-Dog saying you dope spill. All right, I'll check that out too. Screen Crush is great. Yeah. There's a guy, and I can't think of his name. His logo, I feel like, is like him I feel like he's wearing sunglasses and he has a suit on. And I used to watch him quite a bit too. And then he did a couple videos, and I understand why they do this, but it kind of, when I was trying to choose which videos I was going to watch or who I was going to watch, it made it easy for me to go a different direction. He did a couple of videos where the thumbnail and the title made it sound like he had breaking news. And so I got really excited that like a certain thing was going to happen, or here was the villain, or an actor got signed to play this villain. But it was really just him theorizing. And that happened like 3 or 4 times, or 2 or 4. And so when it came down to it, I was like, I'm just going to go with New Rockstars. I really liked them.
Could that have been Mr. Sunday Movies by any chance?
No. If someone said his name, I'd recognize it. And he's good. I like his pacing and explanations a lot. In fact, maybe I'll go back to him. Because I feel like a couple other commenters commented on a similar thing. And I think even for huge channels like that, even if they're not reading all the comments, I think someone probably does, and then provides that feedback. Does 5-star Max Prop X have Act 6 uses?
Short answer, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I know for a fact he does, because when I first pulled him, and I pulled him like the day he came out, I fell in love with him, and I did some testing, and it was in Act 6. It had to have been Act 6. Yeah, it was Act 6. It wasn't an overly tough lane, and it allowed me to use him with Recoil Tree, because it was placing I think it was a weakness. So I was getting a lot of willpower healing. But yeah, absolutely. And keep in mind, this almost never gets talked about. And it's understandable because his damage is so huge. He's an evade counter, and it takes 25, I think, channeling charges. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to parry. You don't have to land a heavy. You don't have to land a slow. It's not an ability accuracy thing. It's all of his hits, right? It's not like Strife where it's only his psionic blasts. You just get him 25 channeling charges, and he is an evade counter. He's incredible. He's incredible. What's up, Shadow? How you doing, buddy? And PP, what's going on, buddy? Go for it.
Sorry, no, go on.
No, please. It'll help me get to a fight.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, no, I was about to bring up that Professor X is, in my opinion, one of the best evade and miss counters in the game, because even if he's unawakened and you can't kind of passively get to that 25 charge mark, you can always just kind of play it safe until you can get that falter up, and then just charge a heavy until you get 25 charges. So he does have a really reliable evade and miss counter that you really don't even need to hit the opponent in order to activate. So
yeah, that's a great point.
Spot on, guys. But also, depending on the masteries you want, he can also be good for synergy purposes, making any mutant recoil function, which is pretty nice.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. He is. There's a reason why I was like, I'm taking him to SIG 200. If I could rank for a mutant right now, it would be him. And so I put in stones into him, even though, and I think even with my testing, I think they're probably correct. you don't see a massive benefit from it. But I had the ability to do a luxury 6 stone usage, and so I went for it.
You got a donation coming
Yeah.
in from OG Highline.
I went slow with that. I should have talked. What's up, dude? Thank you so much for the donation. As you know, I always appreciate that. Congrats on the Herc. Yeah, you saw the video. Awesome, dude. The luck is just weather report coming soon. All right, OG. It started off because it was extremely hot. I think OG Highlands in, I want to say Texas. I'm sorry, but if I misrecall, and it was insanely hot, and so he gave us like the weather report in sports balls. It always makes me laugh, man. Heavy spoilers. Oh no, did we spoil something? I hope we didn't spoil something. Or I see a message retracted, so maybe that was it. I'm not looking forward to America Chavez. I'm not sure I understand. I even did like how dogs tilt their head when they're not sure what's going on. Joe, you don't mind repeating your statement, buddy? Because I do want to understand what you're saying. Hey, Campos here. What's up, buddy? I would highly recommend Dope Spill. All right. It looks like Dope Spill. Do you guys mind DMing me that? Because I will. I've already forgotten who Felganos was telling me to check out too.
Yeah, I got you. I think also, I think what Joji meant was kind of just that, like, America Chavez is a new champion. She's not one that many people have, and so they'd be kind of disappointed if she took up, or if America Chavez took up a buff spot that some other champion that a lot of people have on their roster could have taken, I guess.
That makes a lot of sense, and I think probably is what's being said.
You're probably right.
Yeah, thank you for interpreting for me. I see that, and again, that would just be my own selfishness. That'd be my own self. But it's like with Odin, right, where he got fixed right away. But wasn't that? Didn't we decide or realize that was due to his synergies?
That has to do with. That was because they changed something about him.
Yeah, like it was a little more powerful than they had originally intended, right?
Yeah, the Ant-Man and Ghost India was quite broken.
Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. And there's a long line of champions that need or are due for buffs, as we know. I can't believe they're doing 3 a month. I didn't actually used to like it. Now that I'm covering them better, I am kind of starting to dig it.
I really enjoy them. I'm probably going to rank up King Groot over Cosmic Ghost Rider. Sorry, Slayer. I just saw you pop them.
Slayer's here? What's up, Slayer? How you doing, man? I want to get back to that. I want to get back to the King Groot over Cosmic Ghost Rider, but I want to make sure I catch up on chat just a little bit. Texas, indeed. Yeah, I thought so, buddy. And it's hot as balls all the time. I really think people would watch the news more if the weather people did their reports in sports balls.
That could be a good program for what, like one of the comedy channels, Comedy Central, maybe ESPN.
Yeah,
weather in sports terms.
I mean, you could go a lot of places with that too. I think there's a lot to work with. I think from that material. Screen rant or screen crush. I don't expect her to get a buff in the immediate future. Neither do I. I think if she's going, there was the Perry bug a little bit, raising its ugly head. I think if she were to get a buff, or if she has an intended use, I think it's more future. I pop in, this is the slander I get. Yeah, I know. So that's why I want to get back to it. Why King Groot over Cosmic Ghost Rider? That's a really interesting too.
I really like how King Groot looks, to be honest. I wasn't the biggest fan before the buff.
Yeah.
Quite a few memes about him.
But
I don't really use Cosmic Ghost Rider that much, and I think he's going to be fine at rank 2 for me anyways.
Yeah. So
Duke, it is.
Go for it?
Oh, no, go on.
So it's not that... it's not so much that you're saying that you think King Groot's going to be a better champion than Cosmic Ghost Rider. It's that he just fits into your roster better.
Sure, I'm not saying he's better. I'm just saying, for me, I think Kangaroo is going to be more fun and
Awesome.
useful.
Yeah, I mean that's I think that's great, and I think that's great advice to anyone coming out too. Is like the champions, you shouldn't rank champions you're not going to use, right?
For sure.
What were you saying,
I
Phil?
I have a lot Cosmic T5CC. That's what I pull the most of. So he's eventually going to go up anyways, but
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, Duke. It is. I'm Felganos from Discord server. Other guy is Jacob from Discord server, and of course our host Vega.
Oh yeah, I forgot to introduce you guys. This is a weird one. I guess when you're doing arena grind, you're not supposed to sit there and think about it, right? Wow. Okay. What do y'all think about Herc? I think he's incredible. He when we got to play around with him, CCP, kind of like early access, I intentionally did not want to dive into any of his awakened ability ridiculousness. I don't know if I would use the word cheese. I feel like the word cheese is often used negatively. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but I think it means like unintended uses of it. And I think Herc's awakened ability was very much intended. I think it was known what they were creating, and I think it's pretty awesome. But I didn't want to get into it for a couple reasons. Is I did not know how reliable it was going to be. And it seems to be fairly reliable. And then also people who really do enjoy a lot of war, right? The assassin mastery could cause that to fail. And so there's that. And then the last thing, and maybe you guys can educate me on this, is I feel like I'm seeing a lot of people, they're going immortal, and the opponent will have a special, or the opponent will have enough to throw a bar of power, or they'll have a bar of power enough to throw a special, or in some cases, they'll even be at 3 bars of power. And the video shows a Hercules just going to town. He's unblockable. The opponent gets up. They just hit into him. And what I keep wondering is, I'm like, when I try to do that, the defender throws a special, or they throw their special 3. Am I waiting too long, or is this just a case of like it happened to work and it made for a cool video?
I'm actually not sure. I think I'd have to see the examples in order to kind of make a judgment on that.
I'm not the biggest expert on Hercules, but it can be a case of RNG.
Yeah, but what I was also thinking is with Magic, what a lot of people do is they go for the L2 and then they kind of intercept as the opponent's getting back up. Could that be what Hercules, or what people are doing with Hercules to make sure the opponent doesn't really have a chance to throw their L3?
Yeah, but the thing is like, I don't think you can do that if the defender has power. Like, this would truly be a, like, I can't believe I've played this game this long and not known this. Like, you could do that with Magic once you had landed the power lock, and they did not have power, right? We used to call them wake-up intercepts. I don't know what the rest of the community called them. But when they have power, that was always considered an extremely dangerous move because they could throw their special.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong with Herc, because I very well could be. I really haven't taken much of a look into Hercules, but he can tank the L3, can't he? Or is there something that would stop his immortality there?
I want to look at it because, or Jacob, do you know off the top of your head? Because I know what I think, but I want to confirm it before I say it.
I'm fairly sure he can tank an L3.
I think the immortality gets canceled out by an L3.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me pull up on May. I'll take a look real quick.
Where's my Havoc? Do I not have a 6-star Havoc? I don't have a 6-star Havoc.
Well, it's Vega, Jacob, and Felganos. That's talking.
Here, let's look.
Yeah, Vega was right. It is the L3. It cancels it out.
Yeah, and I remember that was another reason why I didn't want to make too big a deal about it. And there was discussion on it about this thing, right, that we're talking about. And I remember thinking like, well, if you push the opponent to the L3, then they're going to throw it, and then it cancels it out. So you're not indestructible, you know. It is also an active buff, so that's why I didn't think it was game breaking. Right now, I'm still working under the impression. I'm open to being wrong. And I said this, if you guys want, you can go back and you can look at my videos on him from when he first came out, the CCP stuff. It was like, I think you're going to see a lot of really cool fights. I think there's going to be some really cool videos on YouTube, and he is really powerful. But I feel like the Awakened ability is more something that would be really nice to have. It can provide a lot of utility. But I don't know if it's something that you're going to want to be like, I am now invincible for as long as I hit the opponent. Because I don't think you really are. That's my sense.
Yeah, to me, it really strikes me as a more balanced version of Corvus's immortality. Like a second run at it almost if they were to re-release that ability nowadays.
What were you saying, Jacob?
I'm kind of would work on this one. He says Herc's immortality is completely broken and the dumbest thing Kabam has done in years. I don't understand why they did it, especially with Corvus and how much of an impact he has had on the game. I think it's quite stupidly broken, to be honest.
I just got really lucky. I'm still gonna die though, aren't I? Yep. Oh wow. Let's see. Can I kill myself? Yeah. Herc's immortality is completely broken and the dumbest thing Kabam has done in years. Yeah, I mean, I can't say you're wrong. I disagree, but work. Maybe if you're listening, or Duke, I know Duke. Maybe you guys can answer this. Is if the opponent has power, it is never safe to just go in and completely attack them when they're getting up from being knocked down, right? Because they could throw their special. Literally, if anyone in the chat,
usually throw it immediately.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like with some of the videos we're seeing of Herc destroying this opponent who has 3 bars of power and that opponent not throwing specials, I feel like that's more, Jacob, I think it was you said it, I think that's more RNG. Like, it just happened to go well. More than that is like, hey, look, here's this cool thing you can totally replicate. And I think I said bye to OG Highline. If I didn't, I am sorry, but thanks for hanging out, buddy. Is Herc's prestige high? Cazador, yeah, it is. It is very high.
It gets higher from this point on.
Yeah, I think he's in some ranks actually higher than Ragthor. Is it safe? No, it can be done though. Okay, cool. I think it can be done, but it's not something that I think you should go into the fight. Like, it can work for Summer of Pain where you get infinite tries. It could also cost you a lot of revives and potions if you go into a quest deciding that that's what's going to turn out.
But yeah, back to the Herc and Corvus debate. I don't think balancing out Corvus' ability by adding another one is that smart, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if it ends up being a problem they have to deal with, it'll be interesting. He doesn't heal back.
Going to be...
What's that?
The immortality isn't going to be useful in war, but I can still see him being used for certain fights in the future.
Yeah.
Just not relying on the immortality.
Yeah. I mean, it's there for a reason. And I think he is supposed to be an awesome champion. You know, like that's just what he's supposed to be. But I hear you. This could be a situation where in the not too distant future, they are having to deal with the repercussions of it, right?
I remember back in the Hercules Dev Diary videos, I think Kabam Broccoli was saying there was one major flex with Hercules he couldn't wait to see players achieve. I'm still curious to see what that major flex was. Like, was it that Iron Man Infinity War solo that you got, or is it something else entirely?
I'm thinking it's probably something else entirely. I have also come to terms with, though, I don't think people... I didn't know how to, like, quote unquote sell, promote, I think is the better term for that video. I don't know if Hercules could do a whole path. Like, I don't know, because you did kind of need Iron Man Infinity War, Cap Infinity War for that fight because of the armor break. and so I didn't explore a full path. But I think a lot of people assumed for that solo, I like maybe cheesed it a little bit, or I used a bunch of other synergies. It wasn't until you watched it that you realized, like, no, it was actually just Hercules and Cap Infinity War, and that I didn't use the immortality at all. Like, we didn't even get close to it. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that in Discord with the whole doing an abyss path instead of a fighter doing more fights on an abyss path.
That's right. And that was a good idea. And I think you even pointed out that it's only an invisible woman who's next, which could have been a kind of a cool test. Yep. Maybe it's something to go back in and do, actually, when things slow down a little bit, when there's a little bit less like content to put out or arena grinds.
I'm just looking at the chat about the talk Work and K-Dog are having about the immortality mechanic. And what's jumping out at me is by adding more champions that have that mechanic, it just seems like you're inviting power creep. And power creep is never really good for a game. It's a natural thing, but you want to avoid it at all costs because it means that you're going to have to make more adjustments to older champions in the future. So ideally, in my opinion, the way you replace overpowered mechanics is not by introducing equally as overpowered, if not more overpowered mechanics.
Yeah, that's basically what I tried to say before. I don't think introducing her was the right way to counter Corvus.
Hercules equals CGR. That takes a lot. That means a lot coming from you, Slayer. K-Dog, we have come a long way from saying they would rectify the need for course timeout, or mortality becoming more common by the day. Yeah. If they had made it so that you can't extend the mortality, it would be fine. Being able to extend it like you can is so insanely stupid. I can't even fathom why they would do it. I love how passive you guys are in these takes, you know? I truly hope, not K-Dog, it's okay. Herc can solo Invisible Woman and Dark Hawk. Right on. MST, are you saying that because you've done it, you've seen it, or you're just like pretty sure of it? Either way, I believe you, but I'm curious. Everyone loves their broken OP toys until command overreaction. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't bring up that topic, Work, or else I'm gonna go off on my tangent about them introducing True Focus and shutting down Mr. Negative.
Oh, you know you love it.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the minis, and Mr. Negative work with quite a few of them.
Did you guys see?
No, there's True Focus.
Friday, Mike actually ran a poll saying, like, would you prefer that they just had a note that said you're not allowed to use?
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought that was pretty clever. And
as did I.
And it won by a significant margin. I voted.
I hate they put Tigra in the same boat as them. To be
What's
honest.
that?
I hate they put Tigra in the same boat as them because she isn't nearly as safe.
Yeah.
Every time you solo with Tigra, you also die.
Yeah.
She isn't as reliable. Taking a full hit combo and you're basically done.
You did the math. Okay. I believe you. So did BMCG. All right. I believe you. Contrary to popular belief, I'm not afraid to admit when a champ equals or is better than CGR. I may be biased, but I'm not deluded. Yeah, trust me, I hear that. Yeah, it's weird, because that's a common question, like, who is the best? And I think that's I love having that conversation in general. I still think Hyperion deserves to be up there.
For sure.
I think Corvus deserves to be up there.
If Hyperion was a 6-star, he'd be at the top.
Opinion.
I don't know anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting too.
Hard to say, really.
What's that?
It's hard to say.
Yeah, I think 3 or 4 months ago, I was probably even one to just say that, and I think it's getting harder for me to say, and I don't know if that's just due to just being excited about the latest and greatest. But I am beginning to wonder if Hyperion came into the game, like if he was in the next 6-star featured, and I pulled him, I would probably try to awaken him because his level 1 sig ability is so powerful for him.
For sure.
But I really don't think I would R4 him over. I truly believe that I would take CGR and Herc to rank 4 before I consider Hyperion, and then it would come down to, assuming no other Cosmics come into the game, right? It would come down to Hype or Corvus. Now, some of that's just like your own account, your own enjoyment, and all that stuff. But I think my idea on how to value them is actually starting to come into play a little bit. Like that's something that I didn't talk about it very much, if at all, in my videos. Is I love power gain, so that's part of why I love Hyperion. Herc has some power gain mechanics, and so I feel like I understand why people are saying that Herc kind of replaced Corvus. I feel like he maybe replaced Hyperion in some ways too, or at least things I liked about Hyperion.
They are both cosmic brawlers, to be fair.
Hyperion isn't going to change anything.
What's here? Let's go Fel first. What were you saying?
I was just going to say that, yeah, I do definitely see what you're saying with Hercules kind of filling the role that Hyperion hasn't been here for, which is your cosmic brawler.
Yeah. And then what were you saying there, Jacob?
The thing with Hyperion, he isn't going to be meta changing anyway. He's still an amazing champion, but he isn't going to change anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Do you guys find that you fight the same accounts over and over?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I wouldn't know. I don't do arena.
You're a smart man. I think I might try to pay attention to how many times this Federico 99 comes up. I fight this person all the time, and I'll point out the other ones that come up like very, very frequently. I fight WP Gladiators a lot too. A lot.
That's kind of fun when you met someone you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mrs. Pedro Oliveira. My apologies if I mispronounced that. Which one of these is better for 6.1.5 Crossbones? She-Hulk, Medusa, or I-Bomb? All are unawakened and are my only options.
All look great.
Yeah, I don't think you could say any better than that. I think it would mostly be personal preference there, because all three of them seem really solid.
I would probably rank up Medusa, because she would help for the Sentinel and the next quest. If it's a rank up question.
But Sentinel isn't really that bad, though, is he? I don't remember him being a massive problem fight.
He would help. Also, if you don't have Magneto, she's gonna help for some of the later fights. And
yeah, that is a good point.
I guess
6.3 is pretty metal heavy, or robot heavy, at least.
So I just got kicked out, obviously. Yeah, thanks for getting back to the chat, guys. I got a little carried away there. I enjoyed the conversations about who's better and uses and things like that. I enjoy that nuance about like someone's account. It maybe having a reason why they would rank up one champion over the other.
She-Hulk could also be good for 6.2 champion, though, right? Because if I remember right, that She-Hulk is one of the best counters for 6.2 champion.
I believe she still is, yeah.
Sorcerer isn't that great. I think she's bugged still, to be honest.
Who?
Sorcerer is bugged, I think.
Is she really?
There was a bug with Sorcerer?
Yeah, with the slow mechanic. He still triggers unstoppable.
Oh, damn. That is a real shame.
That is not cool. It's fan, dude. It's so weird for me to look up in a stream and see you there. Especially because I'm planning to do like what'll probably be my afternoon or something streams because of this, and I was planning or hoping to see you at that, and so it's really wild for me to look up and to see your name there. It's very cool.
That's probably going to be late in the night for me.
Yeah. It's got to be late for you already, right?
Yeah, it's 8 p.m.
Wow, 8 p.m. I'm gonna play a song for you on the world's tiniest violin. It's 2 a.m. here.
We're not all young.
I'm not that old.
It's not old man. It's not old man Jacob yet.
Mid-20s, I don't think that's old. But I do feel old sometimes.
Vague gaming. Look at Vague with all
I
the
was definitely youngest, I think.
I can tell you, and there are the video documentations to show it. My luck has actually not changed since I entered the CCP. But yeah, I hear you. It has been incredible lately, that is for sure.
Yeah, K-Dog says High Blues is the R4 battle simply due to prestige.
Yeah, I mean, and his abilities are great. It's just, I don't know. I've even I think if I was just starting an account from day one, I don't know. That's such a hard thing to put yourself into. Because one thing that is nice about Hyperion is you really don't need to run the recoil trees with him at all. Not that you necessarily need to with Arc, but it really is nice. I mean, he's clearly so designed for it.
You don't really need to either with Corvus, in my opinion, but it definitely benefits the most.
The only reason I really like to, and I get as close as I do to the word need with Corvus, is someone who's used him in like AQ or whatever. The first fight can be a little rough with them. Whereas at least in AQ, which I realize they're not massive health pools, but I feel like when I do have recoil tree on with them, even the first fight is typically not a big deal.
I always enjoy listening to these mastery discussions where people talk about how to optimize their setup with suicides, with the ouchie masteries, or with that resonate mastery, and I'm just sitting here like, I only just unlocked willpower yesterday.
You don't want me getting into that, Phil.
Yeah, good call. That's probably best safe for the server.
That's been a total learning experience for me, is to learn how few people have masteries that I considered to be like, of course you have them masteries, and they don't have them unlocked. That's been really eye-opening for me.
Every time I see someone without a max despair, I always shake my head.
It also, though, has been helpful because, like even when I did the Diablo video, I did my initial Diablo video, and like one of the most common comments was asking me about my mastery setup, and fortunately have gotten used to it by now. But there were times where I'd get those questions, and I was like, what am I missing? And then it made me realize how few people have like willpower, or just again masteries that I've found to be I just took for granted. What's that?
Or precision and cruelty.
Yeah, exactly. I did also find out though that I run a setup that is not one that a lot of people run. And that's with the...
I'm on break currently, so I don't have to do AQ, so I've been running Liquid Courage, Double Edge, and Mystic Dispersion.
Yeah.
Play around with there in the upload.
It's nice, right?
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's very fun, but not practical because I have to sacrifice deep wounds for it. So...
But you can, I mean, again, and if you haven't seen the video, dude, don't sweat it at all. I realize not everyone watches every video. But you can switch the offensive...
I saw you release it.
What's that?
Yeah, I saw you released a 40-minute video, but I haven't had time to catch up.
I know. I realized that too. I released like 3 30-minute plus videos in a row. And I was like, okay. I think somebody's going to go on the watch later list. I watch YouTube videos too, so I know exactly what it's like, you know? It's like, thanks for the information, Vega, but one of these or two of them is going to have to go on the shelf for a bit. But in the video, I show my masteries and how easily it is to just switch your offensive tree along, and only your offensive tree. So it allows me to place my defenders for war, or if I need to not have recoil tree on for war, I can do that, and then put recoil tree back on if I need it for war or AQ.
Yeah, I never touched my defense tree.
Yeah. I never touched defense or what's the other one called? Like not.
Cheese.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to call it miscellaneous.
I do that because if I have to run recoil, sometimes I have to take off Mystic Dispersion.
There's obviously a mastery that you really like that I don't have. I'm wondering which one it is. Here, let's take a look because I'm curious about this. Is that looking normal to you? I don't know. Are you watching? In fact, I realize you might not be.
Points in despair.
What's that?
You don't have points in despair. I have that maxed out.
All the time.
Yeah.
Even when you're running
all my
recoil? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
all
enough.
My sales maxed out despair.
Fair enough.
But also, when I run Mystic Dispersion, I always want to have 5 points at least in it.
Yeah.
Or it can be alright, but nothing gets better than 5.
Oh, Sven, you're oh, that's right. You're off all week. Nice, dude. You can hang out. It'll help me with this grind. I feel like I'm getting
Hey,
to the
Natalie,
point.
welcome to the stream.
What's that?
I was
Hey,
just
Natalie.
saying hi to Natalie. Yeah.
Oh, Natalie's here. What's up, Natalie? How you doing?
I love how quiet Phil got when we began discussing masteries.
Well, yeah, I can't say anything. Like, dude, I just unlocked the willpower. I can't be here talking about the ouchie masteries or whether I have despair maxed out or not.
It's a permanent investment. Always worth it.
I think that's where theory crafting comes in, right?
Yeah, I think for me, like, I always knew that masteries were a good investment in units, but I would always get to the point where I had enough units to invest in unlocking willpower and all these other masteries, and I think, do I really need this? I've gotten this far without it. I haven't really seen a place where I feel like I need them that much. And so because of that, I end up just putting it off more and more, and then those units get used up by a hard piece of content, and I just put it off until, well, now when I unlocked willpower.
Yeah. I've just become quite impressed with Spin, to be honest, with how far he has gotten with those masteries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a whole other level of wow.
It's quite amazing, to be honest.
What's up, Kais? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, guys.
Campo's been dropping knowledge in chat. I appreciate that a
Hey
lot.
guys, good morning.
But yeah, I think we also got the masteries pretty early on, Vegas, so that obviously helps.
Yeah. All right. I feel like I'm starting to get like to the bottom of my roster, and then this isn't going to come out the way it was intended, but I realize I still have some R3s to go.
Wow, no need to flex, Vega. Come
Yeah,
on, man.
like I said, as I was in the middle of saying it, I'm like, this isn't going to come out how it was intended at all. Oh man.
You know, I'm seeing a lot of rank 3s there, but I think there's one I'm not seeing just yet.
Hey, I left it up to the Discord server. They chose Mr. Fantastic. I'm trying really hard to get a solo on a certain fight on, and
Didn't we choose Nick Fury?
what's that?
Didn't we choose Nick Fury?
That's right, you did. That's right. Oh, that's right. I forgot.
We did ask Mr. Fantastic a negative question once before, I think.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't do a full-on poll for this one. I just kind of did it because I talked to Taters, my BG leader, and he said to go for Mr. Fantastic. So Mr. Fantastic did get ranked. He's what I thought he was. Let's put it that way. You know how you rank some champions, and they're like, "Holy cow, they are better than I thought they were going to be." That is not happening with him, but I'm completely happy with the rank.
The server has given him so much love.
He
Yeah,
does.
exactly.
Yeah, and I've used him as a synergy piece or as a pre-fight piece for a lot of really cool stuff that I've enjoyed. So I'm glad. I think he's very good. It hasn't changed my opinion on him. I just haven't had that moment that I sometimes have with other champions.
Work, funnily enough, I've actually been a player of MCoC since like the really early days. Like I'm seeing Vega use Hulkbuster right now in Arena. I played the game before Hulkbuster got added. So I'm an OG player, but like I kind of took a lot of breaks in between, and I think that's probably why my roster and my master setup isn't quite as developed.
My dream is to be able to run one champ with a different mastery setup than the rest of the team. That would be cool.
That's kind of cool, but
I don't
that'll be
think.
complicated.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever coming. But
I wouldn't be so sure.
I can see that with relics being implemented.
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
exactly. I could very well see the relics being like your own personal masteries for specific champions.
That would be insane. That would be.
I'm
amazing.
really intrigued and scared at the same time about relics.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But we had the discussion before. The worst thing you can do is just remove it.
if it's not a positive
Yeah.
change.
Yeah, if it's not. Obviously, people are going to approach it with a closed mindset. At least that's what I've seen on the forums and such. But I'm quite open to the idea if they execute it well.
I think it could be exciting. It'll be fun to get something new into the game. I'm not in a hurry for it though.
They have to do it at some point because people are going to get bored collecting the same champs over and over again.
I am very happy that they're doing it instead of adding 7 stars. Not that 7 stars. They haven't said they're not adding 7 stars, but I feel like there was a lot in there about we're going to do this to help push back when 7 stars need to be added to the game.
I just
yeah,
want them
that
to
was.
rest the max 6.
no,
Give
go
him
on.
max 6 stars because that's awful.
It is a bad feeling.
Yeah,
isn't
we're
it?
thinking about Ozfan right now, aren't we?
I've also duped 7, I think now
7.
in total.
Holy cow! Holy cow! Let me.
I pulled 2 weeks after the first time I ever pulled him out of a basic. 2 weeks after I took him to max 6.
You know what? It's time to reveal the champion you just said, Dr. Doom. That is the champion I don't have as a 5 or 6 star.
At the
That's
5
painful.
or 6,
Yeah, 5 or 6.
and then we
Neither
have
are-
Ozfan pulling one like every other week.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I've just been
it's
suffering in
just
silence
hilarious.
whenever I saw that.
Oh, I literally thank you, Fel. You just gave me the full idea.
So we have a new emote.
Yeah, that's exactly it is.
Yep.
So it's going to be Fel wearing a headset. I'm writing this down. And
Oh my lord.
and the word underneath it will be silence. Silence. Because he can't hear. And he's
That is
also
perfect.
staying silent on these pools.
That is
I still need to
perfect.
come up with an emote.
Yeah, you're supposed to have something, buddy. Take your time, no hurry. The I believe his name is Raphael. Has been excellent and insanely fast. And insanely fast.
The emotes are awesome. Especially, I really like the Diablo one. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
That turned out well, right?
Yeah.
Ozfan, we were just saying how we always see you pulling or you max or pulling Dr. Doom even though he's already max sig, and I was talking about how since I don't even have a 5 or 6 star Dr. Doom, I just see that all the time and I just have to suffer in silence.
He also joined the stream and didn't have his headset turned on, if I remember correctly. So we couldn't hear him.
It was on. It was just a button I didn't have turned on.
In my story, you didn't have it on. You didn't have it plugged in.
And yeah, I agree with Work. Osfin is suffering way more with the maxing tubes.
Yeah, probably.
I hate to be like the counter guy on this one, but I am going to be. It doesn't feel good. I don't like how it feels. I don't also mind it if it means that the trade-off is that 7 stars haven't entered the game. Like if that's a trade-off, I'm okay with it.
I can just add like 5-6 stones or something like that. That would be cool.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Stones.
I'm totally with you. I agree with that completely, and I don't like it. But if that's the trade-off that's been made, I'm okay not getting 6 stones, and just getting nothing.
Yeah, but that's you, Lee. You always take it on the chin, just laugh it off.
Like I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
How many have you do? If you've kept count.
I have not kept count. But I think I'm only in. So that's the other thing is, again, lucky, right? I think I've only done it like 3 times. So there's that as well. Hey, Doc, dude, thank you so much, man. Coming through. Yeah, like the real America Chavez. Punching holes. I love it. Thank you so much, buddy.
But no one can compare to Jason. He has pulled so many.
It's absurd how many dooms he has pulled.
Yeah.
Really is.
But
also, he has a natural Mexic Gladiator Hulk, I think. That's also pretty crazy.
I think Gladiator Hulk is a prime candidate for like a bit of a tune-up, especially damage-wise. Like he's meant to be based off of the iteration of Hulk from the comics known as World Breaker Hulk, and I'll be honest, Gladiator Hulk's damage doesn't really feel that world-breaking.
So it doesn't, and I want to acknowledge Campo, I think, did you bring that up in one of your videos recently that you did not have Nick Fury, or maybe in congratulating me on finally pulling him, you referenced that you also did not have him, but this is ringing a bell, and I am sorry. I am sorry. I feel that's like, he's such a fun champion too. And then Felt. So I have like there's a special place in my heart for Gladiator Hulk. I too hope he gets a nice little buff, and I had thought that there was a chance, speaking of Gladiator Hulk, I had thought there was a chance that the synergy with Herc, like there had been enough synergies put into place, and then the synergy with Herc was going to make him really awesome. And it didn't. But where he's good, he is incredible, right?
You think so?
Yeah, dude, when you can trigger face me, that is a significant
I'm
amount of
kind of
damage.
indifferent about him.
What's that?
I actually think I'm indifferent about him. I think I always thought he was overrated.
So again, like as we're talking about, like you rank champions for your own account and like who you find fun. I don't know if it was my first boss solo ever. No, it wasn't. It could not have been, but it was. It's up there. Was Dormammu with Gladiator Hulk, and so like there's. I guess I probably have just like a very special like memory of him and using him. And so yeah, you know, like that's how it happens.
Yeah, that's fair.
Exactly.
Like,
What was that? Fel, you go first, and then Jacob.
I was just gonna say I do have a special place in my heart for one champion. This is gonna seem very strange, but Sentry. And it's because I think he was like the second ever 5-star featured I went for, and even though I didn't get him, I actually brushed up on the comics a lot prior to going for it, and I got to the point where I really liked Sentry as a character, and so even to this day, I would not be mad if I pulled a 6-star Sentry. I would not be mad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Negative better than Gulk for Starburst. Yes. Preach work, preach.
All right.
I used my science gem on him, actually, recently.
All right. OG Highline coming back. He's back and has now topped K-Dog. Thank you so much. I think he's up to 20 now. I'm bad at math, as anyone who's watched my videos knows. right. Thank you so much, man. Oh, little misspell there. I'm actually having someone over to my house. Hopefully, we'll have to work. I have to work around their schedule to kind of help me out with a lot of like this automated streaming things. There's just so much that I want to do, and I have the equipment to do it. But I'll watch a YouTube video on how to get better at it, or like a plugin or whatever. And just so often, it just makes everything worse. It just like, and then I have to go back and fix it. So I found someone who was willing to come over and just kind of help me set up a bunch of stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm hoping to get them over here soon.
Awesome.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, it will be, right? Just because I know it's you guys like, I didn't notice you did anything. Like I did some things and I've done things over time and it has gotten better in a way. But like even something like that, like I feel like there's clearly a way where people update their like leaderboard, let's call it, and they don't have to lean in and like type it all out. So it's not the end of the world. It's just some simple stuff that I'd like to improve. Yeah.
Also, speaking.
Go for it.
I was just gonna, speaking of negative, Fel has a very good guide on him. If anyone hasn't learned him yet.
Absolutely. Actually, thank you for bringing that up. I am still working my way through it. You have to talk about like longer videos, but it is excellent. It is awesome, and it gets me like excited about Mr. Negative. In fact, man, there's a point in the video, and I'm not going to remember it. Usually, I do, where you bring up a couple of things that I did not think of about using him properly, and I really like that. I'm also now trying to...
Thank you for the praise, guys. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm going to post the video in the chat if anyone wants to check it out.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm so confused that I am forgetting what I'm doing. I was looking for like the guy with the big bulbous head, and I started getting Mysterio and Vision confused for each other, which is not a good thing.
Well, they do technically both have some relation to Smoke and Mirrors, so...
Thank you.
Close
Yeah.
enough.
All right. Yeah. It wasn't totally crazy. Negative greater than Gulk. This is the other thing, is I kept wanting to get back to this. For Starburst.
He really is.
He is.
Basically
is.
immortal.
Especially if he's duped. I think it's a landslide victory for Mr. Negative.
Yeah, because I want to go with like, well, what if you need a heal? What if you need to deal with healing? But obviously, Mr. Negative can do that.
Petrify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anything I can come up with is like stupidly nuanced. Like I'm just obviously being argumentative.
Defend your boy, Vega.
Poison immunity.
Yeah, man. Oh, poo-poo. Poison immunity.
So if you run into this node that has Starburst and poison damage, you'll be happy.
Tarek's counter.
What's that?
Tarek's counter.
Yeah, there you go.
Dang, he's got me there.
Yeah, but that's not a Starburst. Like the framing
I don't
of
have
this.
Namor for that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, stupid Namor.
Stupid Namor. But I mean, Mr. Negative's a better champion. Even I'm not going to argue that. I like Gulk. I wish he was a little bit better. He's not on like the top of my most desired buff list. I actually don't think about that very much. I think it's a cool... I know Mike has done some videos on that recently, and I think that's a cool concept. But it made me realize that's not something I spend time thinking about. Like when I'm thinking about the game, I'm like trying to think of like synergies and like teams I can bring to things and who I'm going to rank up. So it was really interesting for me to hear someone thinks a lot about who they wish would get buffed in the game. I thought that was pretty cool.
So what I'm getting
I
is
really
you're not
like
really...
Annihilus.
Let's go Jacob
Go on.
first.
Oh,
Okay.
no, it's okay.
I really
you
like
can go. I was
Annihilus.
just kidding.
And I wish he got a little bit of love. A value update would do him nicely.
Zillion
Uh,
loves Annihilus.
Yeah, I know
I
we
think he'd
talked
need a
a
little
bit
bit more
about
than
him.
a value update. I think he'd need more than a value update, honestly. Like, if I'm
I think
correct,
he's
they
very
already kind
underrated, to be honest. He's quite good
of. I
offensively.
want to agree with you. I want to agree with you. But like I have a 6-star Nihilus, and granted I haven't put as much time in him as you might have. I'm just not seeing anything there that could make him a really good champion with a tune-up alone, really.
And K Duck, yeah, I am sometimes loyal to a fault, and I'm gonna go down with the Gulk ship here. But I also need to be reasonable. I need to be reasonable at some level and not just be argumentative. You know, you load him up with enough synergies. He's not bad. I like him. I haven't ranked 2, and I do not regret using that at all.
That's the same with Black Panther, though.
And what do you mean?
Load him up with synergies, and then he's decent.
I actually think, and I mean this, I think
I
Black
know you
Panther.
like him a lot, Vic.
Yeah. Well, hey, you can't wind me up and then not expect me to get going. I think Black Panther is better than people realize. I don't think people have to use him. I don't think he's like a must rank or something like that. But I do believe he's better than people realize, and that's without honestly without synergies.
Yeah, I heard Jacob start talking about how Black Panther was decent with synergies, and I just knew something was about to go down.
OG Highland saying
I knew what it was.
it's not a priority rank up, so I don't think he doesn't have like resources expire or anything. I wouldn't think, but I'm still between Mr. Fantastic and Diablo, both 5 stars, both duped, and 100-ish SIGs.
That's a tough one. They both do very different things.
Yeah. What are some of your other science or high-ranked science champions, or some of your other high-ranked mystic champions that could help us
Also,
establish
what
a bit of a
mastery
background
do
here?
you run?
Yeah, OG Highline. I think because those champions are different, I know which one like. If I was doing a ranking of like the top 100 champions in the game, Diablo would probably be higher. I feel pretty confident Diablo would be higher on that list than Mr. Fantastic, but I think they're within the same realm for sure. So I can understand why you might be thinking of both of them. And I think to really answer it well, we need more information. So if you're comfortable, like the guy said, putting your masteries, like, do you run the recoil tree, right? And I think you know what I mean by that. Basically, that's the bleeding, dual-edged, and liquid courage. And maybe if you need what one of them provides. Like Mr. Fantastic does an awesome job of helping with power control. He truly does. And then he's good on his own, right, as well. And then if you need someone who does poison damage, you need someone who's really tanky. Like Diablo is very difficult to kill. I've tried, and I usually don't succeed. And so if you need that, I think that would be really helpful too, to know. Annihilus is an immunity king. Annihilus is? Does he have immunities? I guess when he has the rod.
He's immune.
Yeah, with the cosmic control rod, right?
Yeah. He's immune to Incinerate, Frostbite, Power Drain, Power Steal, and all the other power.
He already
He's
he already got a buff though, correct?
Yeah, way
Yeah.
back when Human Torch got his totally needed buff.
Yeah, I remember that. Isn't that weird? Oh, I'm on the Mystics only page. I'm like, why am I only seeing Mystic champions?
You mean Cosmic?
Cosmic.
I know what I mean. All right, get off my lawn. Yeah, that was a weird one, right? Like Human Torch needs a buff. Namor, on the other hand, overpowered. We need to nerf him. And that
wasn't the biggest thing for me. I think in that same post they announced that Ronin is fine and Invisible Woman didn't need a buff.
Yeah. So I think I have to do it. I have to, because otherwise none of this makes any sense at all. And I guess these are longer streams, so you're supposed to just repeat stuff. I truly believe, and I think I wrote this, I either did a stream recently or I wrote this in the Discord server. I truly believe, and I have no proof of this, none, just playing this game for an extremely long time and trying to make sense of the various things Kabam puts out publicly. I think that like when they say like, let's go with America Chavez, let's make this very simple. All right, champion designer, here's America Chavez, and I'll use my own rankings again to keep this simple. She's supposed to land at the highest in the lowest bracket of Vega's super premium. Really, her sweet spot would be in the premium tier. As for usability, maybe we'll make some more things in the game, nodes and interactions that will make her more powerful. But that's the sweet spot. And that's the kind of like the way that we want you to make her. Now, here you go. Maybe here's a couple abilities we're trying to introduce or we'd like her to counter. And so I think that if that were the case, it would help me make so much sense of why champions come out the way they do and why some are like what we call overpowered or overtuned versus undertuned. And then when they provide their justifications for why they're going to buff a champion versus not buff a champion, it's not to be looked at in comparison to one another. It's to be looked at in comparison to what the Kabam had intended them to be from a power level, if that made sense.
Yeah, that seems very fair to me. But then I think we had this conversation on Discord as well. How does a champion like Psycho Man come out? Like, who at Kabam came up to your champion designer and said, "Yo, I want Psycho Man to be garbage"?
I think that might have something to do with relics coming in the future. I can see him getting some pretty good relic that makes it pretty decent.
So I think there's that. I think that I could see relics playing a role. I could see them sometimes just missing. Like, and if you think about it, like, okay, so this champion's supposed to be in Vegas. Let's just keep using mine because it makes it simple. Premium tier. But that's the highest they're supposed to be. Because there may be this interaction, and I could see this particularly being true of defenders. And I know it's going to sound crazy, but I think Kabam's actually doing us a solid. Where they're like, this champion has a defender kit. They're supposed to be a tough defender. Do not make them impossible. And as a result, in trying to toe that line on the defensive side of things, the offensive side is like look at Ma. Look at Ebony Ma. He's such a great example of this. And I think Ebony Ma is actually not bad now.
No, he's pretty decent.
Yeah, he's actually
some pretty nice stuff.
Absolutely. But I think they're so concerned with not making it so you had to bring in Human Torch to fight Ebony Ma that at some point they just had to sacrifice offensive use. Like it just, otherwise they ended up with a champion that 95% of the game wouldn't even do a quest if he was on the lane. And that's been my working theory on these things for a very long time. Like that's not.
What about Super Scroll? I don't see him as a hard defender at all.
Do you remember
He was released the same month as Psycho Man.
Do you remember
his L2 can be a little bit of a pain, and he has some pretty good power gain. I could imagine that maybe being a little bit painful. I don't know.
Let's OG Highline got back to us, and then let's jump back to this conversation. OG, yes, I switch between suicides and not when need be. All right, cool. So that's like me. Pretty stacked in Mystic champs with Doom and Claire. Science with Torch, Void, and okay, so this is a stacked roster, or at least
this
like
hard to answer.
Yeah,
the thing I like to read instead of Void is you basically get access to it immediately. The things Void offer would read, except damage over time.
Actually, I think Void, I feel like one, I think he has slightly better damage, and two, if RNG is in your favor, you can get all your debuffs or the needed debuffs up faster. But where I value Read is the fact that you know what you're going to get out of Read, and then once you get those debuffs on the opponent, you're just going to completely lock them down.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, because I feel like he doesn't need either of them. I'm not seeing like a hole in his roster. I would go with.
He doesn't seem to have a poison champ.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Diablo would probably be.
I'd go Diablo.
To provide something new to his roster.
I agree.
The one thing we didn't ask, OG Highland, do you run Mystic Dispersion? If you're able to run wow, words are hard. If you're able to run Mystic Dispersion, I'd go Um, Diablo, absolutely. Like, no, I say that with very little reservation, knowing all the information we have now. I did test Diablo without the recoil tree and with. Yes, he's more powerful with them. Okay, but he's still
but
excellent.
He's sustainable still.
What's that?
He's still pretty sustainable and decent damage wise.
Absolutely, and that's where I was going with it. Is he's still very good without recoil tree? It's Mystic Dispersion that I think is the more important to what you're seeing on YouTube and getting desired results. But let us know. Yeah, this is fun. And then go for it.
Oh no, go on. Go for it. No, go on.
Oh, we can't all become shy at the same time. Go for it, Fel.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, and keep in mind that investment that you make into Mystic Dispersion isn't just gonna be for Diablo, anyways. You said you also have Doom and Claire. I may be wrong since I don't even know that much about Doom because I don't have him, but with Claire at least, I can see a high-ranked Mystic Dispersion actually making her easier to play as well. So think of it as it's kind of benefiting your Mystic roster in general. An investment in Mystic Dispersion isn't just an investment in Diablo, it's an investment in your entire Mystic roster. And so because of that, I really don't see any negatives in unlocking Mystic Dispersion, and if you can do it, just do it, and rank 5 Diablo.
I think you just wanted a chance to say negative.
Yeah, pretty much. I was fishing for somewhere to slot that in after watching you play him.
Regarding Doom with Mystic Dispersion, I think that's down to preference. Some people really struggle to time it with him, and some people, like me, I think it's fine.
I think it's what you get used to. When I started really taking this game seriously, you ran 5 of 5 Mystic Dispersion. You just did. And so as a result, it's just been a mainstay. I loved Mystic Champions. I loved them. I loved them. And so I've just, every champion that's come out since, just gotten used to playing them with 5 of 5 Mystic Dispersion. So I think it's just what you get used to.
It's not even that hard to manage 5 out of 5. I only have trouble sometimes with Rudu because it gets out of hand pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But it's all about practice.
There actually is a couple fights with Diablo where I wasn't necessarily happy that I couldn't get a second SB3, but I preferred to throw the SB2. And so it was nice that the Mystic Dispersion would have kicked me well to the SB3, but it got capped because you can only throw one SB3. So I kind of I see it. And I think you get used to stuff. Spinnakers. Hey, what's up, dude? Thanks for stopping by. Is that Jacob? Yeah, we got Jacob and Fel on call today. Psycho Man feels like a defender, though, which makes sense because Kabam John said they decided whether or not a champion is designed as the focus. They talked about this with Terras. Yeah, so BMCG, there is a little, sometimes there's moments where I'm like, did I read that on the Discord server and I'm supposed to say this, or was this elsewhere? And I'm pretty sure it was some videos with Dorky Dave, where he was it feels like maybe their intro into the design process videos they now make, where they talked about, okay, we initially decide, is this going to be a defender or an attacker? And then Dave actually asked them in the champion kind of promo video, is this a defender or attacker? And I think for me, that was more evidence that my theory was correct anyways. That's how I felt.
I kind of wish they were more open with us about that evaluation as well. Like if they maybe put it somewhere on the announcement posts or in the promotional videos for a champion that this is a defensive powerhouse or an attacking powerhouse, so we can kind of get a feel for where we might want to, I guess, test them out, where we might want to focus on them, see where they shine.
I think that's a tough one, right? Because I, as a player, I would love it. But the thing I always try to keep in mind is Kabam is a for-profit company, and
there's many repercussions.
Yeah, they make their money by us playing the game and trying to grind out the champions or crystals or whatever. Who's going to open the crystals? Or this guy is a lockdown defender. Hopefully, no one else in your battle group ranks him up. Otherwise, you won't be able to place him thanks to diversity. But you should spend your time arena grinding, spend your units. Of course, I'm That wasn't what you said. I kind of made it silly, but I just think that's a tough one. I was actually surprised to even hear in those videos, and I'm positive there's those videos with Dave where they came out and said, like, so and so is designed as a defender, but don't get me wrong, they're still going to have offensive use. You know, is that kind of thing.
Yeah, I could definitely see that hurting Crystal sales or hurting the amount of money invested in units to grind out the champions, which I guess is the negative there.
Yeah,
Again,
or
trying to use negative as much as possible.
I like it. I feel like a lot of the champs this year have been massacred in tuning post design. Looking at a lot of their kits, it feels like the majority. Panther, I kind of feel similarly too. I feel like with a lot of, like, obviously Hercules is the like the antidote to the argument I'm about to put forth, but I feel like that's happened as well. That the champions coming out, they're like, look, if we're gonna err, let's err on undertune. We can always buff them later, while we're also putting out 3 buff champions a month. And some of these champions, like Diablo, is a whole new champion. Like, and I think it was K-Dog who made the joke earlier. It hurt, but it made me laugh. And he's like, well, you got the awesome Mystic champion. It just happened to be Diablo. Most definitely need to work on my Mystic Dispergence curly 2 of 5. Thanks, y'all. Yeah, of course, man. Ask any more questions, buddy. That's streaming is fun because of the interaction. At least it's fun for me because of the interaction.
Yeah, I myself probably need to put a few more points in MD. I think I only have like 3 out of 5 at the moment. I'm just waiting for those Mystic cores for loyalty to rotate back into the store.
Really? And then who are the Mystic champs that you enjoy?
For me, it's Sorcerer Supreme above all. She was my first rank 3 6-star Mystic, and to be honest, that's a whole other topic. Vega, why isn't she top shelf yet?
Because Claire is obviously better.
Whoa, man. Whoa. Keep in mind, work is in the chat here. I have backup.
So I think Sorcerer is
DLL in the chat, please.
Sorcerer is in a weird spot for me. She is going to top shelf. Her and Diablo are definitely going. In fact, if you look at the spreadsheet right now, which I'm sure no one has up, I don't know why you would, she's already been moved. I did that to remind myself to make sure I got it done. Hold on here.
Hey guys, congrats on 500 subscribers, man. You make some really awesome content.
Huge, man. Congrats.
Dude, guys, huge congrats. You've been crushing it, man. Like, I feel like the numbers you're showing, or like whenever I do see your videos come up, the amount of views are awesome. I think you've really done an excellent job of like highlighting what a champion can do and keeping in mind that like it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun. And way to go. That's awesome. Well deserved, well earned. And thanks for coming here and celebrating with us. It feels good.
Yeah, I actually. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, go for it.
Oh no, after you.
What I was going to say is I don't remember what I was saying before that though. But we were talking about Sorcerer and what's his name? Diablo.
Claire.
Oh, Claire.
Oh, wait, what?
I don't know. Whatever.
It was Claire.
The point is, don't make me Morsi now, please. Is I feel like Sorcerer's been tough because I've wanted to put her there. In fact, I did. I used her in variant. I think it was 5 or 6. I think it was 5. And I was like, holy crap, this champion is insane. I think she might be as good as Doom, like, or as valuable to an account as Doom. And so I really like tried to evaluate it while doing a kind of how to play Sorcerer, why I think she was so good video. And I kind of came to the conclusion, like, I don't think she's as good as Doom, but if you have her, you almost don't necessarily need to have Doom or Sorcerer. Oh, I'm sorry, or Claire. I've been saying Claire the whole time, huh? I was talking about Sorcerer. I think if you have Sorcerer highly ranked, you don't necessarily need to have Claire and Doom. Yes, there are some things they can do that she does not, but she covers so many things. And I'm finally putting her in top shelf. She absolutely deserves it.
I disagree with that. I think Claire and her do very, very different things.
Well, like what?
She doesn't have immunities is a great example. Sorcerer doesn't have those. And that's a huge part of Claire's kit.
So
but
you use Claire for immunities.
No. I use it for power control, sustainability.
No,
Because of
sorry,
all-
I didn't phrase the question well. One of the reasons why I don't really I don't put a lot of weight in Claire's immunities is because I don't feel like people use her for her immunities. So while she has it,
I kind of disagree. Like,
Who-
while I am trying to be on the sorcerer side here, or at least I personally, I definitely went through a lot of fights where I did use Claire for immunities, especially places like Biohazard, where you have bleed and poison in the sense that I'm the type of person that will occasionally hit into the block by accident, even when it's Biohazard. So being able to switch in that poison phase from bleed phase is really a lifesaver.
yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Also, access to the different debuffs is always nice. And Sorcerer doesn't have that.
I mean, these are all great points, and this is why I like talking about these things, is because, and again, this isn't like some stupid flex. Is I never use her for these things that you guys are mentioning because I have a variety of other options, and so as a result, that's not when I value Claire or when I'm evaluating Claire versus other champions. Those aren't the qualities that stand out to me, so I discount them a little bit. But then when I talk to people like yourself, or like I mean it, like the stream or chats on video, the comments or the Discord server, I learned so much about the game, but also like how people are using champions that I just wouldn't because I have other options. Like if I need a Mystic champion and I need immunities, I'll Diablo would be someone I'd look now too. But that's why I ranked up Dragon Man, is for a dual immune Mystic champion. So I think you guys are making a lot of sense. And thank you for bringing it up.
Work puts it best. He says it's really hard to quantify better between them. In my opinion, they're both insanely useful, but do different things very differently. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
said
no.
Claire was better to annoy Work because I know he feels strongly about Sorcerer.
Man, you should be doing this in the Discord. You need to rack up those levels. Do what I did. Start arguments with work.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to. DLL and him have this last sprint to level 50. I don't want to get involved in that.
Oh, I like it. You don't want to influence who gets there first.
Yeah, I'm
You're-
neutral.
You're a man of
Dude,
principle.
I'm sorry. I think DLL has a pretty clear advantage.
No, Work has been gaining some ground recently. He's pretty close to him.
All right, let's jump back to the chat. I realized I went off on like a tangent there. Spinnaker runs 4 or 5. Mystic Dispersion. I rarely hit SP3 when I don't want to. Yeah, it was the Terrac Deep. Thanks, BMCG. I knew there was something that was triggering the memory for me. Usually the Spotlight covers what they're good at. I don't want them throwing it right at us. I do like how much in Spotlights they're pointing things out though now. And I'm with you too. Like I want there to be something that we discover, but I like how much they're pointing us in directions now. Wow. Bell ripping off band-aids. Sorcerer better. I definitely think Claire's better. And you know what's funny is like I started confusing the names and I was trying to think through. I was trying to do too many things at once. What I was truly trying to say is this. I think if you have Sorcerer, and this is something I should add now, and other champions, like in other classes, I don't know if you'll miss Claire and Doom as much. Because I feel like she covers a lot of things insanely well. I feel like she's more of a utility champion than they are. It does feel weird to really try to put terms onto it because they're all so excellent.
I don't think you can write off Doom that easily. He has insane power control, and Sorcerer doesn't even come close to that.
I think
Yeah.
Doom is very much a mishmash of a lot of the other best mystics. Like you have really good power control, kind of like magic. You have some good nullify potential like Sorcerer or like Symbiote Supreme. And then you have that sustainability, or that kind of sustainability and high
Tankiness.
the tankiness that Sorcerer has, right? And the reason I actually haven't missed Doom very much in my roster is because if I look at my Mystic roster, I have Sorcerer, Black Widow, Clairvoyant, Symbiote Supreme, and Magic all at rank 5 or rank 3. So, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
quite privileged with my Mystic roster. It's definitely the class I have the most rank 3s on. I don't have a Dragon Man, but I do have Claire, Mojo, Sorcerer, and Doom at rank 3, and Diablo now. So it's pretty tanky.
Yeah, you've got a great Mystic class. Sometimes I forget. Like, I just forget. Like, you start talking about the power control of Doom. It's like, yeah, you're right. It's just weird, like, how much I don't play him as much anymore. What was that?
You can't really compare Sorcerer's power control to Doom's. Doom's is way
It's
more
not even
reliable.
close.
Yeah,
It's not even close.
that's true. You're not wrong. But again,
Definitely
and
see where you're coming from for certain parts of it, but they all do very different things, and having all three is just amazing.
it is amazing. And again, I think this comes down to what else you have. Like, if I need power control, I'm taking magic. You know, it's just different rosters and different enjoyments.
Doom is probably the one I used the least out of all of them.
Isn't that weird?
It is kind of weird.
Yeah, that's one thing that, like, in the back of my head is happening in this conversation is I'm realizing how little I use Doom.
Yeah, but there are some places where he really works, and I feel like in those places there isn't really an alternate, or there's not really anybody else that can do what
Sure.
Doom can do. So it's nice to have him. It almost kind of reminds me of Namor, which is, oh, you have this ability that every once in a while will come in very handy, but other than that, there are a lot of other champions you can use instead of Namor. And with Doom, it's you have this mishmash of abilities that will come in very handy in the right situation, but
For
other
sure.
than in those specific situations, you can just bring in a champion that does something specific a lot better than, or a bit better than Doom does, and you'll actually have an easier time.
But that's why Doom is such a good champion. You don't have to do many things amazingly, just if you do one or two things the best, that makes you an amazing champion.
Yeah. All right. So, let's see. Sorcerer is probably your favorite mystic. Favorite mystic. Yeah, absolutely. Just like your favorite. So we're not talking about best. Just like your favorite.
Yeah,
That's hard. I like
for mine, it's Sorcerer Supreme.
Tigra, Claire, and Diablo a lot.
Yeah. I don't know if I could pick a favorite.
Those are my top three.
I'm just gonna take a guess. Vega, for you, it's between Dragon Man and Diablo, correct?
I do love Diablo. I do love.
Have you joined the cult, Vega?
I have.
That's amazing. One of us.
Yeah, definitely one of you. And that's the thing too, is like, I think the game's just so complex now, and this is why it's good to get away from like serious hardcore like arguing over who's better, because the game's just so complex. Like, they do so many different
It makes zero
things.
sense most of the time.
What's that?
It makes zero sense to have who's
Yeah.
the best in each class.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I think
they
the best
serve different
champion is quite
purposes.
easy to say is Quake, in my opinion, because she counters the most annoying things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
other than that, it's very tough to say.
Holy smokes. I'm realizing like the pace that I'm on. I don't feel like I'm going that slow due to streaming.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring this up at some point, Vega. If you actually want to try to get Chavez, this is not a good pace to be at.
Yeah, this is not good at all. Am I just going too slow?
I feel like, and this might be partially my fault because I don't think I'm doing the best job of keeping up with chat, but
Yeah.
I maybe just like try to keep on rolling, I guess. Like don't take breaks in between the arena series, I think.
Okay.
We'll probably do better with chat.
I know Max did a good video on it, and that was something he definitely pointed out. Is he said that the pace once he did it off stream just quickened so much.
I mean, Casey is pretty good at doing it on stream, but he's also used to it.
Yeah,
It's pretty
I just-
crazy how fast it goes.
and I just enjoy talking more. Like, at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's completely understandable, really.
I mean, that's You also stream rarely compared to me streams it twice every day.
Yeah.
So
He puts out so much content.
it really does. When I had to look for the War Chains video, I thought it came out like 2 weeks ago. There's so many videos.
I actually find it hard to keep up with a lot of KT's videos.
Yeah.
It's just like whenever I get around to watching one, oh look, there's another.
For sure. That's just with most content creators. Especially when people drop 40-minute videos.
Who are you talking about, Val? Or Jacob? Who's doing these 40-minute videos?
Yeah, no clue.
Multiple
Maybe
people.
Karate Mike, maybe? I don't know.
I actually haven't watched that yet.
He did like an hour-long one on Hercules.
Yeah, that video has kind of annoyed me, to be honest, because every time someone brings up an argument about Hercules, just say, watch that video.
Yeah. Let me finish
It's
this.
a great
fight.
video.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I think you got to keep in mind, or I would advise people keep in mind who they're watching. Like, if you're watching Mike is going to show you the absolute best and coolest use of this champion. That's what he does. He enjoys doing it, and he's excellent at it. Right? Like, I think everyone's made this joke before. It's like watching Suida and then being like, I'm going to go dominate the game with Rogue. It's like, no, you're not. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing. People need to understand, just because you can do a fight with a champion doesn't mean they're one of the best options.
yeah.
And that's a misconception many people have. Just because Suida or Mike can do a
MSD.
certain fight, MSD can do a
MSD.
certain fight, doesn't mean you can do it, right?
Yeah, I was actually seeing MSD talk about what was it? Hercules soloing Invisible Woman in the chat earlier, and I was thinking, yeah, but MSD, you can solo it with Hercules. Like 99% of the player base, nah, we can't do that, man.
Yeah, you noticed how I didn't jump on it and be like, oh, I'll go do it right now. And he said he had run the math. And I was like, I wouldn't even know how to run the math to understand I mean, I get it as a theory, like I understand, but I wouldn't know how to even start it.
It would probably be to do with like DPS and then the reduction you get from Invisible Woman's force field.
Yeah.
That's what I would just think off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how many hits you can get in and all that stuff. Like I like Sorcerer for class diversity with slow. Yeah, and Krusty, you know what, dude? Especially if you're still there, I think maybe that's the route, because I can tell how difficult the point I'm trying to get across is to understand. And maybe that's what I should focus on more, is just highlighting how much of what Sorcerer does and sort of comparing her to other champions. Because I agree. I love her. If I had to just pick one, it would probably be Doom. But I do love my Sorcerer Supreme.
I love Sorcerer. I love the fact Sorcerer can stack slow. That's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that it applies as soon as you throw the special.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm always
It
really
really
confident with
helped.
Sorcerer.
It was really
No,
good
no,
for
no,
Rogue.
no. Yeah, it was. I think I actually got my Rogue solo with Sorcerer Supreme. And I actually, one of the things about Sorcerer I love is that I never feel uncomfortable going for her SP1 into a block when the opponent has Unstoppable. I always feel like this is fine. I'll be able to get the slow up and I'll be okay, because not only does Sorcerer's SP1 push the opponent back far enough that even if they retaliate into you right away, you can dex their hit, but that slow is going to apply immediately, so they're not going to be able to get any closer by Unstoppable anyways.
Also, just if you miss the parry and you have the healing up, you're also pretty safe.
Yeah, that's great for me. Like, for some reason I've noticed I actually have a better chance at hitting a re-parry than I do at a parry. I don't know why, but like every once in a while I just have a stint where I really can't get a parry, but re-parries always come clutch for me, so having Sorcerer where I can regen most of that damage back is very helpful.
I personally love longer videos. You know, I like them too. Like, I like the deep dives where the person talks a lot and explains things. I think it's probably part of why I make them that way, because that's how I learn. I typically am watching to learn more than I'm watching to be impressed. But that's just, again, that's just me. But that's part of it, and that's honestly that's why I used to watch. That's why I used to watch KT1 so much, is I felt like he talked and really explained a lot. Like, I learned a lot about the game from watching his videos.
I like longer videos as well because I can watch them while at work.
It's a
But
tricky.
I just find the time to watch them.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. It's at some point though. Like, obviously, I still have a lot to learn. I'm not claiming to know it all when it comes to YouTube. But it is a tricky thing. Like, I've definitely noticed a pattern of this video is 8 minutes long and how many views it gets, and it took me, how many hours to put it together, if any, versus this hour is 35 minutes long and I full showcase a champion and it took me like 6 hours, and I've noticed a difference in views. And I think it's just because people are like, I'm not looking to watch a 30-minute video right now, and then YouTube interprets that as, they go through like impressions, click-through rates. And so they're like, okay, well, we showed it to this viewer. They didn't click on it. It must not be good.
Possibly,
Yeah.
but there's also different videos applies to different demographic of the player base.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's also like finding your audience. Like, that was something that happened from like me personally, and I'm happy to talk about it. When I stopped doing as many Crystal videos, when I stopped doing that, is I had developed an audience who really enjoyed Crystal videos, and then I started doing, stuff I enjoy more, and some of them even told me, and I respected it. They're like, "Dude, you don't do Crystal videos anymore. What's up?" I'm like, "Well, I'm enjoying the game, and I'm enjoying other aspects of it. So, I respect that."
Crystal videos aren't usually what I watch only with people I really care about.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not really my thing. I'm really happy with the change you have made
Thanks.
in terms of content.
Yeah, so am I. So am I. Your and Seaton's crystal opening videos are probably the only two I watch, just because I find Seaton's commentary really entertaining. And with yours, I do genuinely want to see you get a half decent pull.
It's just if I don't care about the person, it's not really going to affect me that much, right?
Yeah, exactly. Not my account, it's your account.
Or like if it's just pure spectacle, like Cow Whale was, right? Like,
Yeah,
just
those openings were insane.
I
Yeah,
honestly never watched them. Like,
Ludicrous.
I definitely had a moment where I was like, why am I doing videos that I don't watch? Like, that seemed weird. So I definitely understand what you guys are saying. And I've noticed that too. Like, I had an outrageously lucky Hercules hunt when his crystals first came out. And a crystal or a video where I'm like, oh, I opened six-star features, outperforms it. And I think it's kind of what you're saying is people are more interested because they're interested in like what I got. They're aware of my account or what I'm doing with it, as opposed to seeing, a bunch of crystals opened.
Yeah. Richard Belding says, hey, I thought I had man cold, which is horrible, but instead I just have an upper respiratory infection. Hooray meds. Richard, I'm really sorry to hear that, but I hope you're doing better.
Hope you feel better soon, yeah.
Mr. Belding, dude, I'm sorry to hear that. Isn't it weird though? Like, I know the variant, Delta variant is maybe changing up some of what I'm saying. But there was a moment a couple months ago where I remember my wife and I talking about it, where we're like, we're going to get basic colds again. And I'm not going to be like scared. Like, I'm not going to be freaked out that it's COVID. Like, my nose will run.
We were talking about a new variant coming for a second.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I know that Delta, and I know the rest of the world's been dealing with that.
MCoC variant.
What's that?
I thought you were talking about a new variant.
Oh, yeah.
Like ISO at first.
Oh my god.
Got it.
Yeah.
The pandemic special variant.
Anyways, I hope you feel better, Mr. Belding. And I appreciate all the help
Yeah,
you've been
get well
giving me,
soon.
dude.
BMCG says, nah, you can solo Invisibleman with Herc. I've been trying and he can do it. It's just a very tight window for everything to line up. That does track with what I've been hearing, what I've been seeing, and what I've been thinking. But it's good to know that the solo is attainable in practice.
Yeah, BMCG, are you just completely focusing on, was it True Sense, or I can't remember what it's called, what he gets? Are you just completely focusing on that, or are you trying to like line it up, or how's that going? See you, Kai. Dude, thanks so much for stopping by, man, and congrats again on the 500 subscribers. That's awesome.
Take care, guys.
Guys, before you go, I just want to say, man, in my Lions group chat, one of the guys sent your video on the Summer Pain boss today, and I put a smile on my face. See your videos getting spread. But massive congrats on 500 subscribers. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Cheers, man.
That's always awesome to see.
Yeah.
When your friend's video gets shared.
Yeah.
And it's not just self doing it.
The doc looked at me and said, the nurse should have given you a COVID test. Are you vaccinated? I replied, yes. He then said, oh, never mind. You're good then.
What?
Yeah, and ultimately that ultimately was my point, and what I was going with is, it sucks to have that bacterial infection. Of course, like I'm sorry, but and I hate that now we've got these other variants. But there was a moment of, wow, like I just have a cold. That's pretty cool, So yeah.
Yeah. I think I get my second dose of the vaccine on Sunday or the 1st or something like that. So soon I should be adequately protected as well.
Jeez, man. I thought you were you've been updating us on that. You're in Singapore, right?
Yeah. Stuff's pretty good here, but in terms of COVID cases, stuff's pretty good here, and we may have gone back into restrictions, but they seem to be easing restrictions if you're fully vaccinated, so it's good for me.
Oh, cool.
I was quite lucky because my fiance is a medic, so I got access to the vaccine very quickly compared to what my age group usually would.
Yeah.
They're just getting vaccinated now, the last shot, so I'm quite lucky.
I feel like it's kind of a double-edged sword, though. Like, yeah, you get the vaccine, but at the same time, you're both at a lot of risk, and I really do hope that you two manage to make it out of this whole pandemic okay.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, well, my daughter's not in preschool anymore, but I volunteered at my daughter's preschool fairly regularly, and so as a result, I was able to get I was asked to get the vaccine early, and I skipped in line for age group, which felt a little weird, but they're like, no, you're working with preschoolers, like, even if it's only once a week, we need you to do this. So yeah.
Yeah.
BMCG says, no, you have to do SP1, then an SP2, and then the SP2 needs to be when the force field is down.
Okay.
Regarding their Hercules, Invisible, and Solo.
So that'll be to get the big burst damage off of the L2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also BMCG. This is, and maybe you've already done it. This was something that, like, I don't know when I'm going to do it because I have so much in game to do. But to me, there's very clearly a way to get the elongated. Again, I can't remember what it's called for Herc, but the buff that counters the miss. There's a way. Yeah, there's a way to get it. That's not just from intercepting with the SP1. I'm starting to get confused on the champions. And it has to do with triggering your feet and then triggering the SP1. And I'm sure there's a way to do it, especially it'd be about like figuring out what's the right way to manipulate the defender into it. And I think if you could do that, then you're going to get an elongated True Sense, which would be awesome. Thank you for reminding me what it was called, Val.
No problemo. In the beginning of it all, I was terrified to get a sniffle even, but after getting fully vaxxed, I feel so much better. Even though I can still catch it, I feel better. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that. A family member of mine actually, who's been fully vaccinated, actually got the Delta variant a while back, and they told me that they had no clue that they even had that they were even sick because they experienced none of the symptoms.
Wow.
people in Texas were booking appointments for vaccines and not going. Therefore, they would have to throw those vaccines out. I was lucky to have a friend getting it when he heard them say, "If you know someone who wants it, tell them to come up now." Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. I am going to dip my toe into this. If it gets too weird, we'll back right out. But I live in California. I actually live in San Francisco. And so I know there's a lot of there's a lot in our country of people just deciding other people are bad, right? But just that happened in California, happened in San Francisco too, where like pharmacies were like, we can't hold on to the vaccine. We don't know what to do. And so there'd be like this network would be like, oh, you got a phone call. Okay, you should drive in now or whatever. Like that happened. It was really disappointing to hear how much that happened. But it definitely happened here in the state and the city that I know has a bit of a reputation for thinking they're better than everybody else. So, yeah.
Yeah, I also saw in the news a while back. Is it true that you guys were getting the vaccines at like baseball stadiums, wasn't it? I think in LA it was at Dodger Stadium, and
Yeah.
that there were all these protests trying to block the way from people getting in.
I didn't experience that. But yeah, like in fact, I think I posted on Twitter a photo of my experience just because, dude, it felt like it was straight out of a movie. Like there's a community college, it's a junior college. There's various terms for it here in the States, but it's basically a 2-year school, a 2-year college. Then they had a massive parking lot that was set up, and you went and you never even got out of your car and you drove through that, and then there was these massive white tents with I don't even know how many lanes, and you drive up to that, and then you'd get the vaccine, and then there was another parking lot that you would drive to, and you waited, I think it was 15 minutes, just to make sure that you didn't have like an immediate adverse reaction, and then you went out, and it honestly looked like the movies, like that's these white tents and people wearing their the full outfit, and it was crazy. It was definitely a interesting time to be alive, that's for sure.
Yeah, like a zombie movie where all the scientists are trying to contain the plague.
Yeah. Like I don't think the movie's that was that popular, but there was a movie called Outbreak, and it had like a little monkey in it. It's also old. Like I took my high school girlfriend to see it. That's how old this movie is. And it felt a lot.
I probably don't know it then.
Yeah. Yeah, you weren't going to a lot of movies before you were born?
Nah, probably not.
Anyways, maybe we should get back to the game. Jacob left for a minute. I was like, he's being awfully quiet.
I'm back now.
Yeah, what's up to you?
Oh, welcome back.
Thank you.
See, Mr. Belding, that's part of why Mr. Belding and I get along so long. Yeah, it was a good movie, right? You remember that little monkey? And I think that, I don't know if it was the same monkey, but it was like the same kind of monkey that was in Friends. It was Ross's monkey. I know we're getting a little too out. See, in work, okay, you can always tell the guys of the right age. And yes, it is the right age.
Oh, don't get me started on Friends. I despise Friends.
The longer I go from it actually being on, the more I'm like, why did I like that show?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I used to like it when I was younger, but now, yeah,
I've just never been a fan. They rely on the laugh track so much to make anything funny, and it's like if your jokes can't stand on their own 2 feet without a laugh track, then this ain't a good comedy.
I think it's humor. Without having gone back and watched it, I have not. I do feel like its humor is very like dated for the era. I mean, most comedies are. Like, I've watched a couple like comedies that my dad loves slapstick, so I'll watch like a comedy with him, and I'm like, this is not funny, but he's rolling, Curious, have you seen the movie like There's Something About Mary?
I haven't.
Have you, Phil? Do you guys even know that movie? It's a Ben Stiller film.
I probably not.
I wonder if you guys would think it's funny though, because I do think the humor is a little, it's dated,
There is something called About Mary.
So it's got Cameron Diaz and now that's the movie I say. Thank you, MSD. Thank you. Thank you for the save. It's called There's Something About Mary. And it's Ben Stiller, Matt Dillon, I think is his name, and Cameron Diaz. And like, Mr. Belding. Okay. And when that movie came out, dude, it was hilarious. I had not laughed that hard in a movie in a while. And that's with Jim Carrey. Like, have you guys seen the Jim Carrey films, like Ace Ventura and that sort of stuff? No crickets. Okay. Humor is definitely of that era. Yes, it most definitely is. It most definitely is.
I was only like 2 years old when that movie came out.
Absolutely.
2 or 3 years old.
No, it's not Matt Damon. It's actually is another actor named, I think it's Matt Dillon.
It's Matt Dillon. I have it up right here.
I know who you're talking about, though, Anthony.
It's on Disney Plus.
It is?
Seems like it. Yeah, might have to watch it later then.
I think it's. I'd have to watch it again to see if even I still think it's funny. But for its era, it was like, yeah, these are 90 comedies exactly. Ace Ventura. Jim Carrey was flat out hysterical, I think, and extremely talented. But yeah.
Just for context, I was watching Lion King at the time.
Okay. Which is also good. Which is
An
also
amazing movie, yeah.
Yeah. You learn that your uncle might not be such a good dude, right?
Yeah. What did you think about the live action movie? Came out like 2 years ago now?
I know, and I have children, so I know like I completely fit the demographic. I should have seen it, but I have not. I have not seen it. BK, dude.
Is that good, to be honest?
Well, BK, dude, thanks so much, and thanks for commenting on the video that came out today. I appreciate you watching it and the congratulations with it. Yeah, I'm gonna try, dude. You know me, I talk a lot, so we're at a slow pace, but we'll see. Jim Carrey should have been Deadpool in the 90s. Yeah, that would have been. Although, like, I don't know if I would have liked that Deadpool. Like, I mean, I think that's kind of that era a little bit. Is like the something about Mary. I think part of why it was so funny is that they were willing to really embrace kind of the irreverent and not shock norms. It wasn't intended to be shocking, which did become a thing, obviously, but to kind of make fun of norms and to kind of call out things that were legitimately funny that you would often like ignore because it was considered rude to say it. And I know that's comedy in general, and that's part of why it evolves, right? Is because when generations like, okay, we're going to call this out because it is funny, but no one will talk about it. It's going to kind of make you uncomfortable. But when looked at through a certain lens, it's hysterical. But then the generation that was raised with it, doesn't think those things are odd anymore because now they're used to being made fun of. So it's part of why comedy evolves, is because it needs to, because it's pushing those boundaries and those envelopes.
That's also how you cope with stuff.
Yeah,
comedy.
A great example, right? But something about Mary, there's a couple, and I don't want to say them because I don't want to ruin them, but there's actually more than one. There's multiple scenes or things in it that were definitely that, and it was funny for that reason. Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep that
Jason
in mind.
says
I'll
this
give it a
part of the
look.
conversation makes me feel old.
What's that?
Sorry?
Oh, this part of the conversation makes you feel old? Because,
Yeah.
Fan, I mean, you remember those movies, though, right? Yes. Devil Dog, you got
You're
it.
making me feel young.
Yeah, Devil Dog. We were talking about the same movie. What's up, man? Thanks for stopping by. You been lurking for a bit, or did you just show up? Either way, thanks for being here.
What did you say, Phil?
Oh, I was just saying I'll definitely give that a look at some point.
Yeah. And then, if you found it funny, there's like a whole bunch of other movies that came. Well, Jim Carrey was before that. He was like, the 3 or 4 years before that. His initial start with like Ace Ventura and those sorts of things. But then there was a bunch of movies after it that I don't know. I can't think of his name. I remembered it earlier. But the male star and there's something. What's that?
I don't remember what it's called on English because it comes up on Danish on my computer.
I don't know why I can't think of the actor's name. Ben Stiller. So it'd be him, and then there's Cameron Diaz. She's a blonde woman, and the cover, like her hair, she has short blonde hair, and the front of her hair is like sticking straight up, as if like it had a lot of gel or hairspray in it. Those who've seen the movie know how. Yeah. So that would be the cover of it. Adam Sandler early stuff was gold. Yeah, dude. Well, that was you and me, I think, who were joking around about his it wasn't a mixtape, but like his just tape or CD recording. Somehow one of his jokes, I think it was "They're all gonna laugh at me," came up, and I was like, no one's gonna know what I'm talking about. And I think it was you who knew exactly what I was talking about with "They're all gonna laugh at me." I can't do the voice because not many people will know what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's just leave it at gel, right, Mr. Belding?
Dumb and Dumber would be fun.
I would really be disappointed if Dumb and Dumber no longer holds value, because that was so good.
It's a classic.
It is? Okay, good.
Slapstick comedy at its peak.
But see, that's what's so funny, is like, I guess it probably is slapstick, but I wouldn't have considered it that. But I think it's become that, right? So yeah, that makes sense. The Lunch Lady song. Oh my God. I'm going to have to listen to some Adam Sandler soon.
I actually went on a bit of a binge a year or two ago where I just watched a lot of early Adam Sandler movies, and yeah, Happy Gilmore is really good.
It is, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think it was a good movie, but did you see Billy Madison?
Yeah, of course. I thought it was a very interesting premise, to say the least.
Yeah, you can't think about that stuff.
Yeah.
But the scene where he I think it's like a dodgeball, and he just pelts the little kid in the head with it. Like, it still cracks me up. And I know that type of stuff is done all the time now in movies, and it's probably very played out. But at the time, like, man, I can't believe how old I sound. That was like, no one was going to hit a little kid in the head with a ball. Like, that just wasn't happening. Like, not on a big screen movie anyway. Dumber borders on the slapsticks for sure. Yeah, it does. It does. I need y'all to watch Wet Hot American Summer. That's on Netflix, right, Mr. Belding? We are so far off the game now. And I know there's people who are like, talk about the game. Ask questions. Anyone who wants us to talk about the game, ask us some questions, and we will jump right back into it.
BK Finance 23 says, the time has come for me to leave my semi-retirement alliance and go back to competitive content. Map 5 can be good for a short period of time. Top 150 AQ and top 100 AW is my landing spot. I can definitely understand that. High tier war in AQ can be stressful, though I actually don't have much experience with that, but I'm sure Vega and Jacob have some experience with it, or a lot of experience with it.
I'm not the biggest fan of high tier war. That's just me. I like AQ.
That's
war can
very
get
interesting.
quite stressful.
I get that, but for me, this may just be because the highest map of AQ I've ever run is like map 6, but I've always found AQ to be quite dull and repetitive, and so I quite enjoy war.
I don't enjoy AQ to say that, but there isn't the same nerves with AQ. You can die all you want. I don't die in AQ, but war can get pretty stressful depending on what alliance you're in.
Yeah, Rip Vega, by the way. That might just be because I'm not competing at that high of a level where it really feels that stressful. Like in Platinum 2, Platinum 3, yeah, there is some that there is a bit of stakes attached to it, but I don't have the same amount of stress as I assume you guys do, where it's like, oh, if I lose this, it's going to cost the entire war for the Alliance.
My problem was it influenced me on work and my breaks, right? I had to sit out on the toilet and do war fights. And that's not really fun when you're nervous and such. So I don't really play hard tier war anymore. I stick to
Yeah,
Platinum 2 at most.
that's
Plus,
fair.
all your colleagues think you have like irritable bowel syndrome, right?
Yeah.
They're like, what is wrong with you? You just went for 15 minutes and you're going again? You know?
He had Taco Bell for dinner last night.
I was paying so much attention to the conversation. I stayed in.
I'm enjoying my break right now for AQ and everything.
Oh my god, I'm gonna lose my streak.
Launch special, launch a special, launch a special.
Okay, I think that's a sign. I gotta take a break.
Dang.
I think that's a sign. I gotta take a break. Yeah, we've been going for almost 3 hours, 2 hours 45 minutes, and I gotta pick up the pace a lot. This was a blast. I hate ending this right when we got to the good stuff, like Happy Gilmore, Waterboy. It's an older Paul Rudd movie. Oh, I didn't know that. I'll have to check that out then. And Waterboy. I can't believe I forgot about Waterboy. Man, I can't believe I lost my streak. It's not the end of the world though, because I need to take a break anyway. Thank you so much, everybody. OG Highline, K-Dog, thank you so much for the donations. Kai's as well. Thank you, Fel and Jacob, for stopping by and staying on the chat, especially for as long as you did. Fel, it's got to be like, what, 4 a.m. for you? And
yeah, 3:44, but pleasure to be here.
Cool. It was fun,
yeah, it
guys.
was awesome, man.
Yeah, I was to say, do you guys have anything you want to add?
No, I hope everyone in the stream has a good day.
Yeah, take care, guys.
All right. Take care, everybody. And hopefully you guys see me on in just a few hours. It means I have not given up on the grind yet. All right, everybody. Take care.